is a Hump Day edition of Outlaw Radio. Welcome to the show. We were not on Monday because y'all know I tend to take holidays off. But it's Outlaw Radio Live Hump Day edition, midweek, here in what's supposed to be early summer, late spring. I just know it's a little nippy outside, a little precipitation, right? But you know what they say, you have to get April showers to bring May flowers, and then it's no more no more May, so the pollen for the bees, all these things have to add up so nature can take its course. Whatever, it is what it is. Welcome to the show. It's Outlaw Radio. My name is Kevin Barnes. I am the host of the show, Outlaw Radio, which is a foundational Black American platform. We do the best that we can to bring information, entertainment, and enlightenment to the people. So give it up for us. If you're just tuning in, welcome to the show. The one thing that we ask is that you share the show. I always think it's interesting that I bring a lot of people on for interviews and we have all these great conversations, but then I don't see people sharing the show on their pages. So I'm like, wait, hold on. What's going on here? Like, okay, my little Chitlin Circuit show ain't worthy of your Facebook page. You know who you are. I don't need to say names. But for those of you who rock with us, we appreciate you so much. So Mondays and Wednesdays, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. This is what we do. Like I said, we were off last Monday, but we're going to get it in tonight. A multitude of things to discuss. If you're paying close attention to the screen, you can see that I have kind of like, I guess she might be a guest. She might be a co-host. I don't know what her status is. People inbox me about it, and I'm like, I don't know. Pager, right? Like, I don't know. I don't know where she's at.
That's awesome.
So, Miss Francois, Juice Lady, what's popping with you? How you doing
Everybody,
tonight?
It's me, the host with the most. Courtney, I'm back. Yeah.
Okay. So, okay. My bad.
It's me.
Welcome back to the show. How you doing?
I'm well. It's been a lot of school work. It's been a lot of working. Children. Son just graduated Saturday, preparing for college. So a lot of life. I am taking summer classes right now. I am in the process of switching jobs. About to leave St. Charles now. So
motion.
I'm just doing stuff. Just a little busy, but I have time for the Outlaws. I'm making time.
Well, it's funny. People always say, "Well, I'm like, do y'all realize Courtney has children? She has a job. She got a whole real life. I'm not cutting checks for Outlaw Radio yet, so I don't really be like, oh, you ain't show up. Dock you $5. Like, nah.
Your children grown now, so you ain't even got to. You worry about them and you there, you take care of them, but they're.
Hey, I done the groundwork, right? Like they're supposed to fly. They're supposed to fly, right? Like we'll see. But welcome to the show. Welcome back for the first time.
Thank you.
If you're watching and you want to get involved, the phone number is 262-202-5131. It's 262-202-5131. And we have a chat room, and the chat room pops, right? Like so normally what I do to keep the show interactive is if you make a comment in the chat room, I usually put it up on the screen like so. This is Dion. He said Trump about to get these votes, Kev. He already got him. He already won.
He's not about to get more votes just because Hoover is free.
He said they let GD. They don't let GD in the door. Dion, I wish I had a banjo in my sound effects right now. You're doing a little Trump dancing right now. We're gonna get into that. Dion said, I noticed something different about you, Kev. What you noticed different? I don't know. We got a little.
And my coworker said the same thing. Like, man, they saying Trump gonna get the votes. First off, he just got voted in. And you didn't gave us Hoover. You may give out some more checks, but that after you give people what they want, we have no reason to vote for you again. You didn't give it to us, and you fucking everything else up. Can't trick us.
Well, first of all, he hasn't given us a check.
Oh no, he hasn't.
We're going to talk about his tax plan tonight. The big beautiful bill is what it's called. That was just passed one part of the House and still awaiting final approval. We're going to talk about the pros and the cons of that. And he didn't give us Larry Hoover either. As a matter of fact, one of the things I'm going to talk about tonight is how thorough is this pardon, because there's a federal thing and then there's a state thing in which allegedly this brother has 200 years for some things in the state of Illinois. So did he free him? See, watch your mouth when you say somebody freed somebody. They don't let GDs in the door. They let
people get excited, don't they? And then later be like, oh man.
But black people are either waiting for you to do something to us or something for us. And in a lot of people's eyes, I'm thinking that this whole Larry Hoover thing may be something that's viewed as a favor for Black America. Oh, thank you, Mr. Trump. We'll get into that. We'll get into that. How y'all doing? How y'all doing tonight? Hope y'all had a good holiday. I did.
Yes.
I'm learning. I learned about through my infinite research. I'm learning about love languages, right? And so it's important for people to say, "What's your love language?" Mine's happens to be food, right? Like I love
That's
to
not
cook.
even a part of the love.
I like to feed people. So if you want to know if I really love you, it means I even if I had a bag of chips and I gave you some of them, that means I love you.
You obviously don't love us. We'll never get invited to no barbecues, man. So
Yeah,
like,
well, this is true, and it's not because I don't love y'all. It's because I stopped doing functions a long time ago, right? Like I used to really open up my house, and people who know me know they've been in my house eating. I used to throw tremendous cookouts, but I stopped because I realized that to come into this space, you have to be a certain kind of person, right? Like I really have to feel you for you to come into this space and especially to break bread with me. So it's coming though. I've in my mind, I'm thinking about some things that we can do to encourage a little team building, right? Like I've thought about that. And so you never know, it doesn't mean I don't love y'all. I've been rocking with y'all, you and Kamar, and I don't know where Real is, but him too. If I fuck with you, I fuck with you. So when I do an event, you will get an invite. It's
all
just that
right.
all of my cookouts been straight A. It's straight inner circle. But I've like I said, man, over the years, and ask all my homies, man, that my house used to be the spot. Like, hey, yo, Kev is, especially when I still lived on Capitol, like I would have 50, 60 people in my backyard. I mean,
Oh,
kids, I used to go buy fireworks and shit. And I'm telling you, I was food. I love to cook, right? And to feed people that I care about and for them to say, this shit good as hell. That's one of my love languages. So I
that
learned,
warms your heart, Kev.
yeah, I believe it or not, under all this metal and stone, there is a heart, right? Like so,
You
I'm
know.
right. Who knew, right? Like, I didn't. I just found out like Tuesday, Courtney. So,
Okay,
it's new for
okay.
me too. It's new for me. It's new for me too.
Go ahead.
Dion's in the chat room. I knew he was gonna be excited. He said the Fed case was the hard one. Maybe he could get parole on state charges. Shout out to Lisa Mueller. Lisa M. Mueller. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing, my sister? Please share the show. Everybody share the show. It's all this love that I get from people telling me how much they love the show, but then you got all these other platforms that y'all get excited about. Let them know. Don't be scared. Let them know Outlaw Radio is better than your shit. Tell them. Hey man, you good, but damn, that goddamn Negro whisperer is a motherfucker. Tell him. Tell him. DeVille Willis, how you doing out there in Vegas, man? Outlaws, how you doing? And he had hit me up Monday and asked me to shout out his grandfather, who was a veteran who fought in World War II.
Boo boo.
Yeah. And shots. I said I would do it, so I did it. There you go, Quinn. Q Love. I actually went to high school with Q Love, so I've known him for a very long time. And some of the funniest conversations that I think I ever have are often with him because I've forgotten about a lot of the shit that I did in high school. Um, and Q will remind me, like, nah, Kev, you that. I'm like, damn, wait, I did do that shit, didn't I? Like, it was a different day and a different time, man. You know what I'm saying? Before I really calmed all the way down. So we're gonna jump into it. It is a Hump Day edition. Courtney, I have to ask. I know you've been moving and grooving. I know you've been doing your thing. How was your holiday? How was it?
Celebrate them pagan holidays. But
Okay.
I brought somebody else barbecued. I brought some food and stuff. We had some wine. It was cool. It was all right.
So you did celebrate. So
No,
you brought wine and you went to break bread with other people. That's
it
the
was the day
definition.
off, Kev. That's what you
Okay.
do on off days.
Okay. Sound like celebrating to me. Maybe it's semantics. I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know. Some people might just want to guard their, care, but I'm real though. And I don't think Memorial Day is defined. I don't think it's defined as pagan though. Like there's Easter, like there's
Well,
other.
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if Memorial. I think people say it's an American. Like I don't fuck
I feel like
America.
they're all pagan. They're all just some random made up days. Because you can celebrate your fallen soldiers. And like my granddad, it would be a day to celebrate him, but really I could celebrate him any day. I can go put a flag and some flowers
Right.
on his grave any day. So it doesn't have to be Memorial Day. It could be any day, just like
Yeah,
Father's Day, Mother's Day.
Memorial Day is the one that they give you off work for. And if
Exactly.
you're
So
lucky, it's a paid holiday.
yeah,
So
so
it
since we
is.
get it off,
Hey
they eat
man,
some food. People grill
throw
it up.
some ribs on the grill. That's a celebration. What are we talking about? This is cool in the gang.
No,
This is celebrate good
I
times.
was
Come on.
celebrating being off, Kev.
Okay, well, it's still the same. I don't know. Like I said, it's semantics and it's cool. As long as you got you some ribs and some wine. Sound like you had a
I
good
ain't have
time.
any ribs. Sorry.
Okay, damn. No pork? What'd you eat? You said food.
I had some chicken breast.
Okay.
Chicken burgers, spinach.
Okay. Vegan barbecue. No, that's not vegan. You said thanks. A shout out to you, man. Shout out to you, David. You support the show. I appreciate you, man. Ace Cooley in the chat room. My brother, once again, somebody who I've known for a very long time. Y'all, this is crazy. I met Ace Cooley in middle school, right? In middle school. Check this out. Like, we talking 80s. Like, I'm like 13, 14. Can you imagine 14-year-old me? It's the same dude you see right now. Only I just didn't have my own car, right? Like, it's just,
I can't imagine you acting like this at 14. Like, this
this
grown
is
ass
me.
little boy. That's
I have not. Matter of fact, back then I may have been a little bit more impulsive. There was way less discipline. So yeah, it was, But shout out to Ace, man. Ace is a good dude. We actually crossed paths even later on. When I was in college and I was playing ball, and we were just for some reason, my best friend and I were in South Dakota, North Dakota, somewhere in a random bar. And I look up and I'm like, is that Anthony Cooley? And he looked at me and was, is that Kevin Barnes? It's like, dude, we hadn't seen each other since 8th grade and we were like juniors in college. So shout out to Ace, man. Appreciate your support, man. But hey, man, I don't want to call it an elephant in the room. I don't believe it to be an elephant, but let's talk about Larry Hoover.
Let's talk about Larry.
Let's talk about
OG, folks.
I know that's right.
Yeah.
Right.
On the G.
all my guys gonna be mad at me. Like, Kev, you ought to order for that bullshit, man.
Hey,
Look,
Kev.
I put EBA in the title, man. I should have put Faux Life. Go ahead, man.
Hey, Kev. At least your big homies know me, right? So
I'm just saying, man. I got a lot of people with a lot of things.
They know the antics that might come out of me, right?
I got so many, and I got like family that's really and I don't want to get into it from that perspective, but I do want to talk about what this actually means. So check this out. Well, let me get to the chat room. This is Ace. Kamar, how was your holiday, man?
It was cool, man. It was cool.
Okay.
It was real smooth.
Now, Courtney drank wine and ate grilled chicken breast. What did you do?
I had spinach too now.
She had spinach.
Okay. No vegan barbecue or nothing like, nothing like that. Okay.
I ain't do nothing, man. It was business as usual.
There we go.
All right.
Ace said, I wish we had a chance to ball together. You know what, Ace? That would have probably been dope, man. But like I said, it was just to be honest with you, I remember my senior year and I'm keeping stock of things in terms of who's all what and who's all this and all that. And I happened to look in the newspaper and he had went to Bayview. And I remember seeing his name all conference at running back. And I'm like, Anthony Cooley? That's only one Anthony Cooley. Like, I wonder if that's dude who went to Bell with me. And lo and behold, that's who it was, right? Like, so but that would have been dope. We had got to play together, man. He said, what up, cuz? Okay, so let's talk about this.
What up, cuz?
First of all, I just said to Courtney, I feel like black people, when it comes to politics, in particular one Donald Trump, we have been waiting on something that he done to us or something that he has done for us. So for a lot of people right now, a great majority of I'm not even gonna say a great majority, but it depends on where your city sits. In our city, I know a great majority of people are ecstatic that Larry Hoover has been granted a pardon by Donald Trump. But does this now make Donald Trump the black people's president? Come on.
No.
Like I can okay.
No, he just did something. I mean, okay. I'm sure you can find something good about Hitler.
Oh, yes. Better be careful how you say that. A lot of people said that kind of stuff.
I'm just saying, I'm sure you can. Well, I'm sure you can. I mean, that's anybody. You can find something good about. You can find something that anybody did good somewhere.
Or
Okay.
that don't necessarily make him a good person.
Yeah.
So let this be the definitive statement that he is still a white nationalist. He is still Trump, right? We talk about who Mr. Larry Hoover actually is, who is, I believe at this point, is he 75 years old? Is he 75 years old?
I don't know.
Oh.
I believe he's 75 years old. I know he has done 52 years in a federal penitentiary. He has a multitude of charges. I'm not going to go over them. There's murder, there's drug, there's conspiracy, there's a lot of different. So he had state time and he had federal time. And he is looked at as the founder. And I don't think he did this by himself. And anybody who's affiliated with this thing, let me know. I don't think he did this by himself, but I think he's given the credit as being one of the founders of the Gangster Disciple street gang in Chicago, right? That's what he's given credit for. Which at this point, regardless of what you think in terms of Crips, Bloods, and whatever, is the largest street gang in this country. It is the largest street gang in this culture, in this country. Ewok, are you with us? Let me see if I can get your
audio.
audio.
Is it really the largest?
Yes, sir. What's going on? What's going on, this lady? What's going on? Come on.
What's going on, Ewok? How you doing, man? And I know you
man.
You rarely call early, so I know you got something to say. What's popping?
This seems like y'all missing the big picture. Y'all just gonna say this real fast. Y'all don't see the overplay for the underlay.
Okay.
This motherfucker just charged these two thieving ass white people, man.
Right.
That stole $30 million and shit. You know what I'm saying? He let them out, so he gonna squeeze that Larry Hoover in there to try to, you know what I'm saying, caress and finesse a motherfucker with that bullshit. Get that whole shit. Let these thieving ass white people out of jail.
Well, Ernest, he's also been very vocal about freeing insurrectionists from January 6th. He's taking.
Hey,
you know what I mean, he's so he pardons.
Yeah, no doubt.
Maybe that sister I was talking about, who was the pardon czar, got something to do with this. Remember, everybody got on my case, and I was talking about the black pardon czar, and I said, "Hey, this might be something good about her. We don't know how she kick it. You know what I mean?" And if he pardoned her, I would imagine that she got something to do with that, right?
If that's her job.
I'm not going to let Donald Trump do nothing to tickle my fancy. Fuck him. That, you know what I'm saying, that weak ass commutation. Because, like y'all say, man, this nigga still got 200 years. Now, it'd be good if Chicago leave him alone and turn him loose and shit. But it ain't because he got no heart. Believe that shit. You know what I'm saying? Please. You see all them dumbass Mexicans, don't follow suit with them. I will vote for Donald Trump until he send your grandmama back to motherfucking Mexico and shit. I ain't excited about nothing that some bitch do. But yeah, y'all go ahead with the stuff.
Go ahead, Courtney. You had something you was trying to pop in.
I was gonna say, it isn't like him getting out of prison is helping any of us. It ain't helping black folks at all. It isn't like you're releasing one of our major leaders or something that was leading us in the right direction. So Larry Hoover getting out, I assume Larry Hoover just want to get out and go home and be by his family. It ain't like he finna fix the gang. It ain't finna, this ain't really a win for us. The nigga Hoover is free. That's it.
Right,
right. It's not affecting us.
To be honest with you,
I
believe he's paid his dues. I believe he should be allowed to come home. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, Kamar.
That too, but I was looking at it. I wasn't looking at it that of who it is. I was just looking at it as what he is, a black man. And like you said at the top of the show, you was talking about, does this mean he's for us because he did something for black people? We wasn't talking about who it was. You know what I'm saying? And we do know, like, I don't think nobody's really looking at it now like, oh, wow, Trump's a good guy since he did this. I mean, it may be a few people out there, but that, you know what I mean, they may be shallow like that. You know what I'm saying? But ain't none of us looking at it like, oh, wow, Trump is this and that now. He freed Larry Hoover. No, man, you know what I mean? We just talking about what he did for a black person, just like what I was talking about, the black was the pardon. I was just bringing that up, saying, hey, it might be something to this. Because she got a long history of prison reform work.
Like whatever white folks he's probably pardoning, I feel like these people could possibly assist him in some type of way. Rather you You pardon some white scammers. You pardon the people from January 6th. You know these motherfuckers are ride for you. You know what I'm saying? Hoover ain't gonna do nothing for us, but you know the people you're releasing, these white folks, they'll come back. They'll stand some ground for you. Them down there like your little soldiers. So
well, there's these two reality show stars, and they were convicted of like tax evasion, all kinds of federal tax crimes. And I don't really watch reality TV, especially the white ones. So I don't really know their names. I've seen them before. If somebody out there knows their names, he did this at the same time. But I'm more akin to the original Black Panthers from Oakland, California. Right. And there's so many political prisoners that were imprisoned and incarcerated way back in the late 60s. You know, we start to talk about so many different political prisoners, some that you're not even familiar with, that were swept up in federal conspiracy cases. And they haven't been freed. Some of them have. If Trump want to impress me, tell us Asada Shakur she can come home so she can come back from Cuba. Right?
Yeah.
Let's make sure Geronimo Pratt and H-Rap Brown and all these real revolutionary.
You know, I always talk about looking at a person's track history, track record, you know what I'm saying, to determine how good of a person they are. You know what I mean? So it's like, after all the bullshit you done, you got to do so much to get back right. You know what I'm saying? That's what I said. Ain't nobody looking at Trump now like, oh, you just did so much for black people now. You know what I mean? Because you really didn't.
I feel like it's like a pimp buying one of his hoes a new dress. Honestly, and I hate to put it in that like, I'm sorry, y'all. I don't want GD to be mad at me. I don't want GDs to be looking for me on the street like, come here, cuz, say it. You got to say it. Carrie Walker Jones, shout out to my sister. She's a strong supporter of the show. Please share the show. She said he's been doing stuff for select blacks that doesn't I think she means doesn't mean anything. He is out to get anybody, not just us. He's throwing shit in the air as a distraction for his own personal gain. Well, this comes at a time in which his budget, the big beautiful bill, as they call it, was just released. And I'm going to tell you there's a couple things that he's done with this budget. Number one, he's cut food stamps and Medicaid. Tremendous cuts, right? He's still giving tax breaks to the wealthy, and he has increased our deficit by trillions.
I know that's
so let's look at the timing of this and see what's what. Like, I get it. I know in the hood, y'all who love to say on the G and that, man, but a lot of y'all who happy don't even know who Mr. Hoover was. Locked up before I was born, right? And a lot of those who claim GD right now, they're a little bit different from the GDs I met growing up, especially if you've ever met some real Chicago GDs. Yeah. It's a whole different animal. It ain't what you like. Just because you know the handshake and you wear your hat to the right, them cats will get at you. Just spit your laws, like what you know, like you liable to get beat up, right? So it's a way of life over there more so than most of the people over here. Now, there's some real GDs in Milwaukee. I can't disrespect anyone, but I just feel like a lot of the people who are celebrating now don't even understand. It's like the people who were sad when Tookie Williams died. But here's one of the founding fathers of the Crips. Like, his impact on our community, the impact of that, the impact of GD on our community. I'm not blaming Mr. Hoover, because at that time, I'm sure he didn't know. He couldn't see that far in the future and say this is going to become this thing. But I have another question for you, Kamar, and I hope Dion jumps in. Let me catch my chat room. Let me see. Ace Cooley said Trump do something good right before he does something real fucked up, like the budget. When we talk about you're going to go after poor people and old people, a lot of y'all who got grandparents right now and older relatives, how do you think their medical care is paid for? It's Medicaid. Can you imagine? I'm not talking about people who sell their stamps. I'm talking about people who really need those stamps, and it's getting cut. So we can, because it's not going to come back into us as taxpayers' money unless you are in the upper echelon of tax brackets. And a lot of us, I keep telling a lot of black people, when they say he's a good businessman, he's gonna do good for the economy, you're not in a tax bracket. You're not in the tax bracket to be a Trump fan when you start talking about he gonna improve the economy. Not for your ass. Not for you. Not for you. For your boss, whoever owned the company you work for, of course.
Like niggas finna start getting checks.
Right. Stop it. Right. He said, this is Dion. He said Trump was also talking about allowing right. Let's let felons get firearms. Yeah, okay. Shit. Why not? Fuck it. Give everybody a gun. Right? Give everybody one. Mama Jenkins in the chat room. How you doing, Mama Jenkins? She said, good evening, my outlaw family. Do not get out of your car after an accident. These sons of bitches are buck wild. People are losing their lives over bullshit. And I seen the mayor big upping this new facility for LGBTQ youth. Didn't really hear him address the violence or a solution for it. That was very Obama-ish. Mario Steele, G-Mo, Capone Thompson. How you doing, my brother? Geronimo Pratt was freed and moved to Africa. But there's a lot of those political prisoners who haven't been released and some who have died behind the walls. Trumped up charges in the kangaroo court. This is J. Edgar Hoover's initiative to cripple any black power movement. Hell, we can't bring the chairman Fred Hampton back. Yeah. You know, we can't bring all the Panthers who were slain unjustifiably back. Right. So, I mean, there's a lot more to be done. And I'm not going to give him no credit like that. OK. And Key Minor, shout out to Key Minor. Key Minor used to be on the show. Come on. Remember Key Minor was on the show. Mm-hmm. She said, we just need to really read more as a people and start finding out the real laws and stop putting all of our trust in the same people who destroyed us out the gate. Right. I'm sick of all this BS because ain't nothing fixing none of these, no matter how they play with these bills. Hey, we agree with you wholeheartedly, my sister. That is definitely true. It's a lot of what Liz Brown used to call it playing in your face. Ace Cooley said, yes, it's a smokescreen. Kerry Walker Jones said he was cutting food stamps and implementing food boxes instead.
Well, that's food boxes.
Well, that's going to be interesting because his cuts have also affected the food banks. Like there's food sitting rotting in warehouses right now because that federal money, when he started playing with that money, that pipeline, it's affected that. So you're going to get a government sponsored food box. That sounds like the 80s with government cheese. A lot of y'all wasn't around I was around for government cheese.
My mama said it was the best cheese though.
Man, that was some of the best cheese ever.
That's what my mama said.
If you found something that you could cut it with,
hey, that was the thing. You just had to keep it fresh, right? Because once that shit start getting a little hard, god damn, it get hard to cut.
The only person who I ever knew who could actually cut it thin enough to eat, and the only thing we ever used it for was grilled cheese sandwiches.
Yep.
My mother could cut it very thinly, and I never could because she said, make your own sandwich and the cheese be this goddamn thick. I couldn't even chew the shit. So, you know, let me see. She said, yes, this is my sister. She said, peace, y'all. By the way, long time no see. Yes, ma'am. Don't be a stranger. Like I said, she was once an outlaw on the show here with us live in the studio at that, right? Those were them good pregame in the garage days where by the time we get on the air, we already 2 sheets in the wind. Everybody faded. So yeah, it's so Kerry Walker Jones said that government cheese was some good shit. You know what? I don't know. I don't want to revisit it, but I also don't want to be in a situation where you got to go and pick up some government sponsored food box, because I can guarantee you there won't be anything in that box that encourages the proper supplement and proper sustenance for our kids and our children and for our systems, right? You'll get a box of super hydro processed shit, probably with some goddamn poison or something in it that you didn't know.
Is that not what people are buying anyway with their food stamps? A lot of people.
Well, yeah, and they're outlawing saying, well, you can't eat. Now they're gonna say you can't eat junk food, right? Like you can't buy junk food with food stamps. And
because you know when you go in the store in them days, you see those carts full with just bullshit. Like real bullshit. It's not really anything healthy in there. When you walk past, spill to the top, they might have 2 carts, and you look in the cereals and Hot Pockets and gummies, and you don't see any veggies, no fruit, nothing. So,
but I tell people this all the time. That's true. But walk around the average store. See, when I first was diagnosed with high blood pressure, I went into Walmart. I used to go before they closed Walmart up here on Silver Spring. I used to always go in there, and for the first time, I started reading the labels because they said salt and sugar are your enemies, right? So you're going to look at that label and you're going to see sodium, and you're going to see how much sugars are in there, right? And then be aware of other foods like rice that are basically sugar. If you eat them, the way they metastasize within your body, it turns into sugar, right? Which is bad for you because glucose is bad for you. Those labels let me know that there was nothing in the store I could eat. Really? So I would say, okay, well, let me go to the vegetable section. And then I heard about Monsanto and all of the goddamn poisons that they're spraying on the food to prevent the bugs. And it has to be shipped as well. So I said all of that to say you have to be very, very, very careful if you're going to say, I'm about to start eliminating processed foods. I'm about to start eliminating, because a lot of foods, before you even know it, they're shipped in salt or sugar. They're preservatives.
Yeah.
You say, how does shit stay fresh for so long? Because it's been sitting in a saltwater solution, my brother, my sister. So, and it can be done. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying, because I'm one of those people who believes you can do whatever you set your mind to, but you have to be very careful. Like, I hear a lot of people talking about eating healthy while they throwing back some shit that's horrible for them. Like, oh, I don't eat salt, but they'll chew the shit out of some soy and some soybean shit. It's like, bro, I don't want to be the one to fuck they party up, Kamar. So I say, man, go ahead, brother. Go ahead, sister. You know, at least you try it, right?
It's kind of funny though, because like everybody it is really, because everybody got that line they draw. You know what I mean? Somewhere like, I draw the line at unseeded watermelons. I draw the line at. But then you see a motherfucker eating brownies and shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I was at the store one day, and this lady, she was on me about how many calories may be in a vitality, right? She telling me, because you know, I watch how many calories I take in. I watch, you know what I mean? For how many I put in my body. Man, listen, 10 minutes later, she was over at the confectionery yours.
Sweet shot, I knew it.
Buying cookies and shit. You know what I'm saying? But you worried about these calories, these natural calories. You know, go buy 1 million bullshit calories.
Well, Kamar, hold on. Was they vegan cookies? Was they low salt? Were they like?
No.
You know them cookies across wasn't no vegan over there.
They wasn't gluten free. None of that shit.
Nothing. Those are full.
None of that shit. But hey, I draw the line. I draw the line at this agave.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's beautiful.
That's where I draw the line
at. Agave.
That's why I don't waste time. I don't waste time, Kamar. Do you right? Like do you right? Because a person, I don't drink tap water, and then they got a bottle of water, a plastic bottle of water, not understanding the dangers that plastic actually pose to water. And you don't know how long this shit been sitting in a warehouse somewhere before you got it. So once again, it's hard to be 100%, but I think the effort is everything. And I respect anybody who's putting up an effort, but stop walking around like you Jesus, right? And I'm just waiting on you to make some wine out the water. Like, we both just regular humans, man. And it's like I say, man, a person could never smoke and die from lung cancer. That is the irony of life. You just got to do the best you can. And Kamar made a good point to me one time. He said it ain't really about making sure or thinking that you're going to live forever, but you don't want to be old and be suffering from a bunch of ailments and die a slow death. You want to try to be good as long as you can. You know, don't rush it, because we all got a date, but don't rush it, right? Let me see. Oh, this is DeVille Willis in the chat room. He says it was a tool like wire to cut the cheese. Well, cheese, if you eat cheese, I'm from Wisconsin, there's tools to cut, because you buy expensive cheese, comes in a big brick too, right? And it's hard to cut sometimes depending on what you get. So yeah, there's a tool to cut it. We just didn't have that tool. My mother had that one serrated steak knife. I don't know if y'all in the 80s, we had a set with the wooden handles, and some of them was serrated and some of them wasn't. She had one knife that she kept sharper than it cut through. I've seen my mother cut a door down. No, she used a hatchet for that. That wasn't a knife. She had a hatchet for things like that's another show though. Ewok in the chat room. Let me get Ewok up in here. He said, chicken in a can. Dude doesn't care what people eat. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you're gonna get a box from the government, imagine what that shit is. Because they gave us powdered milk. Come on, remember that shit? And like, they would give you a can that just said pork on it.
That powdered milk was some bullshit.
And powdered eggs too. Oh my gosh, like,
man, that was some
eggs.
bullshit.
Powdered eggs. I'm trying to tell you, it was crazy.
Water.
It was just right, and mix it up, and you got eggs or you got milk.
You got milk.
And then they had cereal, and they literally just said cereal on the box. There's no telling what that shit was. It's supposed to be. Come on, man. Let me pick.
Metal can. You got a metal can that say meat.
Right. It don't say what kind it is.
I'm like, what kind of it?
Hey, put some salt on that shit. Key Miner said, in reality, we don't need to eat that, like Juice Lady said. It's a lot of stuff we shouldn't do that I hate to pick on people because I love my people, but they be healthy and they be elevated, and then I see them somewhere smoking a hookah. That ain't nothing but a fruit flavored Black and Mild. Like, I don't know how the fuck you we'll never smoke. Hookahs ain't for dudes either. Let me tell you something. If you a dude and I see you on the thing in the club with a hookah, I'm laughing at your ass, cuz. Go to a cigar bar, man. Don't be up in
real OGs never smoke hookahs in the bar.
Yeah, ain't nobody gonna buy that.
That's a chimney.
They ain't gonna buy that shit. They ain't gonna buy that one. Ace said, shit, government cheese was rough. You cut a piece off, it grow back. It almost took 5 hours to make a grilled cheese sandwich. He said, I think I saw a dude put 2 blocks on a pillowcase, and it was used in a pillowcase, and it was used as a weapon. I'm saying, only my mama knew how to cut this shit. Like, I'm literally the piece of government cheese that sat in the bottom of our refrigerator for about 6 years, it was all hacked up, right? Because my brother and myself would be trying to cut it. We could never do it. And she would just get frustrated and be like, look, goddamn it. And she just cut it. And I still to this day would be like, but see, back in the days, though, even if you bought bologna, you had to cut the damn bologna yourself. Like, so my parents was old, so that's how they shopped. So I used to be trying to figure that shit out. Imagine a government cheese with a sandwich with a big ass thick piece of cheese and a big ass thick piece of bologna. Your ass is about to be constipated. That's the 80s for you, man. You had to eat some 9-laters and shit to clear all that shit up. Key Miner says she's guilty about the hookah, I guess. She said that part, Cam. Yeah, man, I think dudes
it's about the calories. About the calories.
Okay, I thought it was about the hookah. I thought I was on one with dudes with the hookah.
Going over and getting some other calories instead.
Okay. Like I thought it was me, you know. Kerry Walker said, I'm guilty too. I will eat a salad and chase it with cake. LOL.
It's like that sometimes.
Oh man, but Black people, boy, we be hypocritical with a lot of shit. I ain't gonna lie. Erica Hunt said, what up, Outlaws? How you doing, Erica? Welcome to the show.
Hey,
welcome
Erica.
to the show. She said it's nasty as hell. That's Key Miner. Ace Cooley said, anybody else break a metal spoon off? The government peanut butter shit was like eating dry caulk. Yeah, you know, we wasn't even supposed to have that shit. My mom would just always know somebody who was either selling food stamps or she'd be like, they giving out cheese at North Division. And my father used to be kind of like, why are you going? We don't need that shit. But she looked at it as free food, right? It was Reaganomics. So we had that shit and just that can of pork and them eggs. Nah, man. Nah, nobody's eating that.
Sandwiches in that cheese. A lot of
man. Hey, man. You had to put that shit in the oven, man. You had to put it in the oven. Microwave wasn't gonna do it. You just had to put that shit.
I mean, did she ever make macaroni and cheese with it though?
No, absolutely not. My mother never made macaroni and cheese with government cheese. It was a novelty in our house. Like, it was free food. That's how my mother looked at it. Like, well, you don't have to eat it, but you won't never be able to say you're hungry. Because we have, like, my mother would have like neck bones and shit like that and pig feet and pig. We'd be like, we don't eat this. But she'd be like, well, we got food here. So if you're hungry, motherfucker, you're going to eat. So
around. Don't be
asking. It never came down.
That was some shit she ain't had to cook.
Right. Yeah. But then it never came down to all we got left is a couple pieces of government cheese. Because my father would have went out and blew something up. That wasn't going to happen for us. So we didn't really need it. But I guess it was part of our experience.
He been at McGovern Park hunting and shit.
Man, shit. Who you telling? For real. Like, you ain't lying. Like, anybody who know my pops know. Like, he said, shit, we ain't got nothing to eat. Hey,
he'll come home with set these traps up in the backyard.
Raccoons, squirrels, rabbits, and we'd all been in the garage cleaning that shit. Like, for real. They came out to Jim Crow South. We wasn't gonna be hungry. They knew how to live off the land. We'd have been at Lincoln Park fishing like a motherfucker with them contaminated ass bluegills. Ace Cooley said, anybody? No, okay, I read that. So let me get to this. So this is mainly for Dion and Kamar. Let me see who called. Somebody called. I missed it. I was running my mouth. Okay, that was Dion. Dion, make sure you hit us back. Because we talk about Larry Hoover, right? And we talk about GD. Now, I was at one point, somebody explained to me, or they said to me, the original incarnation of this was not supposed to be what it turned into, because GD is actually growth and development.
That's right.
None of the gangs was supposed to turn into what they
Growth
turned
and
into.
development, protecting your neighborhood and the peoples.
But the government dismissed this during Larry Hoover's conspiracy trial and said that's just a thinly veiled way for them to try to change the narrative by saying, well, it's really not gangster disciple, it's growth and development. So I don't know enough about it to be able to say, but I'd like to know, is there a difference between? So it's no difference. It's not two different things. It's the same thing.
No, it's always, you know what I mean, gangster development, that's in the lit.
Okay.
As far as what GD mean.
Okay.
It was in the lit, you know what I mean? And they just split the names when they split up in Chicago.
Okay. So BD, GD, growth and development, I don't know the differences between them because, like I said, my neighborhood was never affiliated on that side. So, Dion, you with us? Can you hear us?
Hello, how you doing?
We're doing very well. You love Trump. Is Trump now your guy because he let?
Nah, man, I don't. Hey, whoa! Don't do that, man. I don't like nothing about Trump.
Whoa!
You know, he freed a man that has been wrongly and justly incarcerated. You know, because like if you go back, like you said, if you really go back, the federal government did illegal wiretapping on Larry Hoover when they bugged his what they call it when they bugged his visitors pass, the badges. So out the gate, a lot of that stuff was bogus. The reason they did that to Mr. Hoover is because I was about to call him chairman, but he doesn't affiliate himself with that ideology no more. The reason they did that to Mr. Hoover is because at the time he was going on a whole new concept, which was the 21st century vote, where he showed that he could unite the masses and probably sway the political agenda as far as with the vote. They had a big march downtown in Chicago. All the GDs, you know, represent. GD was there, you know what I'm saying? And some other organizations were there because it was about, you know what I'm saying? And then basically, like you're saying, as far as with the growth and development, that's a whole different ideology of things. That's a concept. But it was showing that it's not for us to stay a certain type of way. It's for us to grow and develop. So when he started that whole concept, he was trying to use the political agenda to sway the vote. So he was showing like, hey, if everybody get together and vote, we can have these people at our whim. The government didn't like that because basically just like when Malcolm went to the police station, he had all those black people. So they was like, if this man have this many people up under his control, think of what he could do. So we have to isolate him, take him away, and they did all that bogus shit. You know what I'm saying about it? You know, because if the federal government illegally do something, as you see what they're doing now, they'll still go through with it and put all type of charges on him. So maybe he was, you know, still in the joint doing stuff, you know what I'm saying, conducting a criminal enterprise, as they was trying to say. But you illegally, even Jay Prince, he even said it when he went to go see Mr. Hoover, that they had illegally tapped his badge.
Right.
So by them illegally doing that, but the feds didn't want to do that. So I guess that was one of the things that maybe swayed Donald Trump. Like, hold on, these people, we want the bad blase Skippy. You know what I'm saying? They did something bogus. I don't know what was the reason that he pardoned the man. The only thing I didn't believe it at first because there'd be so many rumors, blah, blah, blah.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? So I seen it, and then I started seeing other news outlets come out and say this, that, and other. But I feel like you know, when is it a time where, yeah, you have done wrong in this world, but you outgrew that? You feel what I'm saying? Like, there is no way, this man is 74 years old. There's no, what is she doing on TV? I got you on my 75-inch TV, Courtney, and you smoking a pipe. That's not cool.
What about Kamar smoking?
It's just, I don't know. But anyway, now for real though, it is. I'm gonna go on Facebook to talk about you in a minute. But anyway, it is though, bro. It's like you see a woman smoking a blunt or drinking out of 40. That's unladylike. You know what I'm saying?
I don't care what you think, Dion. I'm not your lady, so it don't matter. I'm not here to attract
Kamar does his thing. Anybody else is welcome. I don't put.
I see him doing it all the time. I don't be one to. If you say something, Kamar, it's over. He about to. And I'll be looking at bro, and I'll be like, man, we out here, you know, saying this, that, and the other. This man rolling and moaning, but you know, I just leave it alone though, since you brought it up. But hey, we all grown adults here, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So That's my whole thing, though. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't so much about what Trump did. And I ain't gonna lie, if Trump, I'll never vote for Trump or any Republicans. But I would be happy if he allowed people who have nonviolent felons, people that I did my time. I'm damn near 50 years old. Matter of fact, the anniversary of my case was May 2nd, 2000. That's when I was sentenced. 25 years ago. Okay. Why shouldn't I be able to defend my home? Like in Texas, fellas can have firearms. You can't carry it, but you should be able to defend your home. So why? I don't care about carrying it outside because that ain't no trouble.
You probably need to talk. You need to talk to your congressman or your senator because that's states have rights, and Texas exercise their right. And so the citizens in Wisconsin. Let's see, in Wisconsin, it's difficult because northern Wisconsin, which is pretty much all rural, they ride. Guns are a way of life. They ride around with their guns in their windows and all of that kind of stuff.
Well, I don't know about fellas.
But in southeastern Wisconsin, we have a tremendous problem with gun violence, and I'm not sure. It ain't. But I'm not sure. And first of all, let's say this: gun laws only apply to people who are legally able to have them, because criminals don't give a fuck about the law anyways. So you've never seen a criminal say, I will carry a pistol, but I'm a felon. No, if he's still a criminal, he's like, fuck that. Well, so I don't have no gun. Well, that's because you care. Like I said, you're not a criminal. You're not a criminal. If you were still in the life, you'd be like, shit, I don't care about no damn felony. I'm gonna carry my pistol because I'm still out here.
Yeah, and then I tell my girl, because you know she got her Ford car in Chicago because she could carry. I'll be like, I can't be around no gun. I can't even go into Cabela's and look at guns. Like literally, like when you're a felon. No, seriously, you cannot be nowhere where guns and firearms are there. You feel what I'm saying? But my thing, ideally. But my thing is, if Trump did decide to allow nonviolent. You know what I'm saying? And maybe he will, because there's people out here, you know, a lot of rich cronies that are caught state cases that he can't pardon. That, hey, I need my fucking hunting license, my hunting rights back. If
he want to impress me, he'll bring some law enforcement reform to like, I don't care about. I want to say I don't care about. I'm glad that this brother's getting exonerated to a certain degree, but it's not one of those things that's going to move the needle for me, because I don't see it as something that's going to contribute to empowering us. Milltown Mikey Davis in the chat room. My brother Mikey, what it do, man? That's family right there. Kevin LaFleur, how you doing, my brother? Welcome to the show. He says, listen to the Ghetto Boys Resurrection. See, in our generation, we became familiar with Larry Hoover because of that. We had heard of him. Obviously, but we're so close to Chicago, and a lot of people don't understand. Like, I see the jokes now, and everybody's, on the G, and I'm like, but I know where that came from, and I remember the times when it came to our city, and in a lot of cases what it actually meant if somebody said that. But I'm gonna leave that alone. But I also say that we did hear Mr. Hoover's voice on Ghetto Boys on that album. He was prominently featured throughout that album, and he got a chance to say a lot in regards about what they were charging him with and how black people actually needed to change the way they were moving. And he was trying to get this clothing line, and he was partnering with Jay Prince. So see, once again, our generation as hip hop, aficionados, our generation is what made hip hop really legitimate. So when I see young people not talking about old heads and y'all old this, all that, bruh, you standing on our shoulders. Like our hip hop, it accomplished its mission. It taught us about Malcolm X. It taught us about Larry Hoover. It had people wearing African medallions, going back saying, okay, what is this all about? Now, once again, I'm an old man, and I understand that a lot of this music is not made or intentionally aimed or marketed towards me. But when I look at these young people, I see how they're missing. And the proof is in the pudding with all these dudes being so emo. All these young brothers on their music are so emo. You listen to them. They're all so, nobody, my mama left me. Nobody ever loved me. I was on pills when I was 10. And it's like, damn. Like, are any of you youngsters happy? Like,
the girl cheating on them and shit.
Right.
She don't love them.
I digress.
Yeah, still on here.
Dion, are you still with us?
I'm still back looking at the screen.
I'm still feeling the way, worried about me smoking, but women hate to see your ass coming because you so damn disrespectful and everything else, and you worried about women hate to see your ass coming.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna
There's
stand
nothing
on
you
this
can
neck,
say.
though. I'm gonna keep it real
You
with
know
you.
that's a fact.
I'm gonna keep it real with you. I'm gonna keep it
You
real
don't know
with
how to talk to women, and then you worry about what I got going on this screen.
you. And
How
on my
about you worry
mama, if
about
you give me a
yourself and how
chance
you
too,
conduct yourself
and
and fixing and healing
if you give me a
yourself. Don't worry
chance too,
about
I'll
other
stand
people.
on your neck too. You heard me? On the
You-
real, I'm a gorilla. Next time I see you in Woodlands, I'm like, bring your ass here. On the real, I'm a gorilla. You feel me?
We know that. We know that. We've all seen it and we know it.
Bang bang.
I don't know anything.
Going on.
I don't know nothing. I'm not getting subpoenaed for nothing. I don't know this young man's involvement with one young lady.
I'm a gorilla. You heard me?
It was nice.
Women like it. It must have been working for me all these years because some women like it. You might be one. You might be one of the ones that don't. You
No,
understand?
I've been around a couple women that when you walk through the door, they be looking like.
Give you a little twinkle, twinkle in them. Give you a little twinkle, twinkle in them panties. You hear me?
Oh my God, Kamar, you was trying to put in here. I want to make sure everybody.
What up, boy? What up?
I like the shit. She was nice to him when he first came on. And then he said something about smoking that pipe. It was up.
Oh my God.
Well, it ain't been here in a while, and that's how people act.
Hey, Courtney, unfortunately, you missed the show we did called Trigger Words, in which we talked about the most righteous of us being having something that triggers us. And so, hey, y'all go back and listen to that show. Actually, people really, it was big numbers on the show. Like people, especially when we hit that line about us drawing the line at certain things, bitch ass nigga, you know, that kind of shit. It was like everybody, even the most old docile person was like, hold on, goddamn it, don't never call me that shit. So, trigger words, you triggered her, man. This is Kevin LaFleur. He said, I'm like you, Dion, you can lead them to water. Who are you talking? We talking about you agreeing with Dion's policy? Because Dion is, he say he's hard on the women, but then I hear him talk about him and his boo in the Smoky Mountains in a cabin in Tennessee and shit like that. So I'm not sure Dion is. I think Dion might be a studio gangster with this dog and women.
Man, you see me, man. Listen, man, I ain't got to prove this speed, man. On the real, hey. My personal business right there with that because she got to me. You feel what I'm saying? But any other time I'm out there, I'm aggressive. You understand? I'm gonna say what's on my mind. You know, some women like it, some women don't. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it is what it is. I ain't everybody cup of tea. You know what I'm saying? Like today, I was looking at this woman. I wanted to tell her, you got a fat old ass, and I want to tell your man that he lucky to have you. And she probably like, I ain't got no man. I like this woman. Look at how you understand what I'm saying? So, you know, some women like it, some women don't. You know, I'm gonna put the hook out there. I'm gonna throw the bait on. I'm gonna put the bait on the hook. If they bite, they bite. If they don't, they don't. You feel what I'm saying?
All I know is.
So is it okay to tell her the same that, and then for her not to say the same thing back? Because like what you said was some niggas don't want to see that shit, and that's the same thing she said about you. I mean it. Like a lot of the time, the stuff that we see that we don't like in other people, we can take back and point it right back at us and learn something.
Yes, sir. It's a two-way street. A
lot of the time, what we don't like in somebody else is what we don't like in ourselves.
I'm a strong believer in knowing your audience, because check this out. Even if you are that, right? Like, and I got some family members and I got some friends who their attitude towards women can be labeled aggressive. It could be what we would define as he gets straight to the point. Like he don't have time for bells and whistles, because of just say. But if we are in a room and you can look around and see that most of the women in this room do not subscribe to that, I think you should fall back from it. You know what I'm saying? You need what we call icebreakers, because you can tell within her first, like when you start to speak to her, if that's her bag, right? So if you say, hey, how you doing, Miss Lady? And, you know, sometimes women will say, well, my name is so-and-so. You already know then, okay, temper the conversation. You don't come in, well, Lisa, you got a big old fat ass. Like it's really, on one hand, it's immature. On another hand, it's misogynistic. But I understand that there are women. I can say this because this is where I do agree with Dion at. There are women who respond to that. That's what they like. Like, so if you are Mr. Cordial and, hey, how you doing? She like, oh, squash, nigga. Girl, I like me. Give me some dreads and some gold teeth and some tattoos. And they want that. Like, so, but you just have to be able, like, you have to have the right level of discernment to know know your audience, right? Like, so if me and Dion, if we at Brown's Canopy Lounge and he's behaving like that, I'm gonna say, well, there's a lot of women in here who go for that, right? But if we're like downtown at one of these fake ass high hootsy hotsy tossy bars, and I know it's a lot of educated women who are really trying to represent some sort of class, yeah, they're not going to respond to that. They're going to get, you might end up in a serious confrontation because one of them might like, motherfucker, don't, you know, and it's like, whoa, dog, come on. I've had homies who I had to walk out of a bar before. Like, bro, come on, man, come on.
I was gonna say, but just because you're in the hood somewhere don't mean that women subscribe to that. It don't mean that they want to hear that. I told you we were in the grocery store. And
I don't know if you ever been to Brown's Canopy Lounge, but it was in the hood, and it was. Okay, see, yeah, no, they was with the shits in Brown Cat. Them women down there was different. Like you know. I
told y'all I was at the grocery store at Woodman's, and Dion popped up, and he said, "Courtney, you keep a little hair on it, don't you?" Wow. Nigga, like what? What the fuck? And then a lot of times when Dion is talking, if other women are around, you can tell like motherfuckers be uncomfortable. Like you can't tell, even though you're not talking to them, they might be walking past and heard it.
Yeah.
They some man their motherfucking business then on the real.
Or maybe you
like
should
I said, he in there holding his little dog, looking, but talking just.
Maybe you should be respectful of other people, right?
I was just a little curious. I want to know that you keep a little hair on it. That's all. It's a yes or no. God. You didn't get offended and say, Dion, don't motherfucker talk to me like that. You sat there with me for 30 minutes to entertain my conversation.
We was not talking for 30 minutes and goddamn Woodman's.
Yeah.
Why the fuck were we talking 30 minutes in the grocery store?
I didn't hold you hostage. I didn't hold you
hostage. That's a lie. That's a goddamn lie.
And this is the reason. This is the reason why people this is the reason why people are mad at me. Like people get mad at me and say, Kev, you don't stay focused on the show. You just like y'all just be all over the place.
Back to the script, Kev.
I'm sorry, Corey.
That's a goddamn lie.
We gotta stay focused.
What's the next topic?
That's what you draw the line at right there. That's where I draw the line.
Let me go to my chat room, man. He was saying when he said you can't leave in the water, he was talking about the folks. This is Kevin LaFleur. Y'all please share the show if you're just tuning in. It's Outlaw Radio Live, Hump Day edition. Carrie Walker Jones said women don't like being mistreated. They are just misguided. She said not Browns, LOLs. Hey, I mean, I once again I keep telling people like every now and then I could be a cheerleader for foolishness. I'm not totally against all ratchetness. So I've been in Browns on the hot summer night with the homies and we in there throwing back E&J and Cokes and I just like, yeah, you'd see it and be like, whoa, okay, well, that's not the one you want to take home to your mama, right? But for the next 4 or 5 hours, this might be a good time. I don't know. I'm just saying I've never been one to do that, right? Because I don't believe in causing a scene, and I don't believe in disrespecting anybody, and especially women. Like I don't think you, and if you are the type of woman that will respond to that, you're really not my type, because that's not how I am. So eventually you're gonna be like, oh, you was just acting that night. Yeah, I was just bullshit. I'm really respectful and shit. Like I'm really like, you know, I was on some bullshit. I was drinking that damn Apple Crown, hanging with my guys and shit. I was thug lifing. No, I'm actually a very I got a lot of integrity, man. And I have a daughter, so I can't even vibe on the level of disrespect towards women. But I that's not the same as me not being able to criticize them. Because people be like, Kev, you and Kamar be brown nosing for women because y'all got girls and whatnot. Like I've been accused of this, saying me and Kamar simp for women because we both have women in our lives. And I'm like, hey, just because I respect women don't mean I'm simping. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Like
listen, I'm happy at home. Fuck what they talking about. Shit, I don't care. I'm happy at home. Whatever the fuck I'm doing, I'm happy.
He said, this is Kevin LaFleur. He said Jabos. Is that the old? Then it became Glory Days, and then where was Jabos at? I can't remember. That's the old school joint right there. She said that's that baby oil shit. Ace Cooley said, man, go into the diamond with that Romeo shit. Them women gonna clown you, man. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Know your audience, man. Like you can't. There's some places you don't want to go into playing Square Bear Johnson. But if that's who you are, you might be surprised when it wins, when it works, because there might be a group of women in there like, girl, I'd rather talk to him because he ain't on that bullshit like that. You might get chose. And so your guy might be like, oh, she didn't want to holler at me. Maybe it's because you slapped her on her ass and said, what's happening with it, bitch? I don't know. It might mean something. Like, maybe.
Boy, you stupid as hell.
I'm just saying, it might have a lot to do with your approach, right? He said King Drive. Jabos was on King Drive. Okay, it wasn't Glory Days. Jabos. Damn. That is old school. And this is, it's Outlaw Radio, so we're all over the place a lot of times, and this kind of grew out of, Dion going at Courtney about smoking her medicinal purposed medically legal marijuana, right? And so we don't even know if it was marijuana in there. It could have been hookah tobacco.
Could have been anything.
Right, could have been. It could have been crack, right?
My custom motherfucking pipe.
No, it wasn't crack. It wasn't crack though. I said it could have been crack. No, I was just joking. Shout out to anybody who smoked crack though. Shout out to you.
It's not a shout out to them, Kev.
No, I just want everybody to feel welcome. If you want to call and say, man, this shit been good to me, Kev.
I wouldn't mind talking to a crackhead on here. I wouldn't mind.
It would. I don't think that. I don't think they call it. I wanted to talk about this. I know this is a hell of a switch. Sade Robinson case with Maxwell Anderson, the alleged murderer of this young sister, and oh my goodness, the trial has started, and I know a lot of y'all is more focused on Diddy than you are about this young sister who was murdered and dismembered. And see, I thought it was a good transition into this because we start to talk about disrespecting women or abusing women, and then we lead into some like women being murdered or harmed or hurt by men, right? And so the heinous part of this situation is that she was dismembered and body parts washed up as far as Chicago. And there's traced her cell phone signal, and they kind of track her from the date all the way to her going to his house until him leaving. And then there's video of him being in certain places, which they call surveillance video. There was some blood in his home, but the thing that I guess his defense is saying is that there's no weapon and really no murder scene. So there was blood in his house, and I don't know how this pertains to the crime, but I just think this is a tragedy and a travesty that this is even a discussion now. he probably will be convicted and sent to prison, but even making the suggestion like this is not an airtight case, like, well, you have tracked him in places where they found parts of her body. Just for me to say that this young sister was dismembered, it's almost like a bad taste comes in my mouth. Just to think that and I'm going to say he did it, but I'm right now innocent until proven guilty, allegedly murdered and dismembered her body and then drove around leaving parts from 31st and Galena to the south side, parts where he tried to throw them into the water, didn't go all the way into the water. They said in some places they even found flesh. Now, we found out later that he comes from a prominent family, and his house was sold very quickly. He was relocated. They had him all cleaned up in the trial so far. He's gotten his haircut because at first he looked like a dirty hippie, and he's all cleaned up.
Oh, his haircut and shit now?
Oh, yeah, they got him. Yeah.
He still look like a motherfucker that'll do that shit.
Still looks like a weirdo with a fade. Man, yeah, no doubt. But come on, is this just me, or is there, because this was a young sister, that his reasonable doubt is already created and then I find out there's only 2 or 3 jurors, right? Like, and that are black. I'm sorry, not just 2 or 3 jurors, but that are black. And so, and I don't know what their daily discussions are. I don't know what the outcome of this case will be, but I've seen people putting up, Facebook posts and stuff like that on social media and the newspaper saying, hey, we don't know if this is as solid of a case as it appears to be. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
I'm about to kill him, kid. I mean, as a parent, any of these things, even like some things I wouldn't be able to get over. Like George Zimmerman, if that was my child, I would have to kill him.
Well, that's another reason why everybody who comes out talking gangster this, gangster that, and thug this and thug that, and he a snitch, we'll kill him, he's a rat, and but this dude is selling paintings. He's still touring the country. And so that's what I'm saying. A lot of these internet gangsters and most dudes who scream how thuggish they are and how gangster they are, are not really as gangsters they say they are, because if you that thugged out, you don't have to say it. Other people will say it. Like, man, that motherfucker a fool, man. Don't fuck with dude. He'll get to it. So, yeah, you're right. With George Zimmerman, it should be, I don't want to encourage people to go out and do something to him, but you would think as gangster and tough as we say we are, there should have been some form of retribution. He's saying Jabos used to be on King Drive by Victor Berger. Okay, I've not my neighborhood, so I've heard of that bar, but I didn't frequent King Drive by Victor Berger. A said that's a sick motherfucker, but understand a lot of the rich privileged kids think they can get away with anything, hence the Menendez brothers. Yeah, well, they trying to get out of jail, but I just think that this has racial, and once again, I don't know what the outcome of this case will be, but if he does happen to walk, or if this case is dismissed, that will be one of the biggest travesties of justice I've ever seen in my life. And it's just starting, so I might be speaking prematurely on it. But even the mere suggestion of, well, we didn't find no weapon, and we didn't find this, that, and the third. Like, this should be open and shut. He did the shit. He did it. So he did it. Right. He needs to go to jail. Anybody else feel any way about this case? I want, if you're on the line, you're in the chat room, want anybody on the panel. I've been keeping up with it, so I don't know if y'all have really paid attention to it yet. Because it's kind of hard to listen to.
I'm reading some shit. They gotta get rid of this. They said they found photos on Anderson's phone of Robinson laying face down on his couch with Anderson's hand grabbing her breast.
Okay.
I feel like she probably wasn't alive in that photo. I assume she was probably dead. I don't know. I ain't gonna say that, but that would be crazy if he got off. That would be crazy. But it'd be situations where motherfuckers get off and it'd be crazy, and I mean nothing happens. They just get off and we're all just like, oh wow, and then life continues.
Yeah, I'm hoping that's not the case here. The justice needs to be served. Sure. This dude need to be sat down somewhere. So, I'm all for the justice system and what they call it, due process. But like, come on, man. I don't even put it out there that there may be, well, maybe there's some doubt because we didn't find a weapon. Damn well. Stop it, man. Come on. A said, man, we need more people like the brothers who put down them two uncivilized mutts that decided to walk through a black hood in Georgia with the KKK hoods on. I seen that, but I didn't really, because a lot of times, man, there be so much false information on social media that a lot of stuff I'm like, I'm not even going, unless I get a real solid source. And I didn't know if that was true. There was one in Mississippi, right? There was Mississippi. There was video of a racist white guy who walked in the bar and was nigga this and nigga that and hands and feet. He got touched. Some people gotta learn the hard way, man. Kevin LaFleur said it's a waste of taxpayer money. I think the process has to play out in court because it's due process and you're innocent until proven guilty. What I don't like is that there's always this kind of like, so if this was a black man who did this to a white woman, they would have been ready to this would have went fast, right? I don't think anybody would have leaked any kind of doubt. Like, well, we don't know if he did it, except for black people. Like, we'd have been like, well, hold on, all the evidence ain't matching up. Kind of like with OJ. We was like, yo, this shit ain't, the glove don't fit and all kinds of shit. White people was like, fuck that. He did it. But OJ got off too. Like, but, well, with the legal case, with the criminal case, but not, the civil case. But, I just think when it's a white defendant involved, there's a lot more leeway. There's like they say, if it's a young black kid who's involved in something like this, the narrative is he's always been troubled. He was always, he's involved in criminal activity. And for white kids, they always misguided, had emotional problems, things of this nature. It's just how they tell a story when we're involved. And I wouldn't want that media to influence this. I wouldn't want their influence to come in here and have some players thinking, well, maybe I should be looking to see if he's finished. He's not. He did this shit. He did it. Lock his ass up. And if he didn't, he know who did it because it's proof that he was the last to see her alive. So if he don't tell somebody else did it, then his ass needs to take the fall for it. Kind of like Tory Lanez. He's saying now, well, yeah, I didn't shoot her. I was trying to protect Chelsea. Well, you should have said something. He asked him and got stabbed. He wouldn't have been in prison. All that shit code and street code shit. He from Canada. You should know better than that. I was told on Custody ass that night. Hey, you know, your girl, the one who did it, what you had him come to me for? We'll see. With the Tory Lanez and Megan stuff. I hope that the sister got that one brother sitting up in there if he didn't do it. That's going to be detrimental for her career. Kevin is talking about Maxwell Anderson. He said if he was black, he'd be. I think he means he would be convicted. They go through the process, but man, would they be painting an ugly picture. They would have the brother's history from him 3 years old all the way up. His kindergarten teacher said he killed the gerbil when he was 5. Like they would have went and put that dirt already out there. I look at the Puffy case and say, still, and I've heard people say this, like this is a thing. Like, yeah, he's nasty, he's a freak, he's you know, he's obviously a horrible individual, but he got a RICO charge. A RICO charge is a big thing, and it involves a lot of criminal activity. I am not saying Puffy should be exonerated. I'm certainly not dumb enough to be walking around with a free Diddy shirt on, because any man who allows a woman to rub another man's semen on him should be locked up, to me. And I know it's not a law against it, but to me, I feel like the moral police should come get you. Like, boy, you need to take your nasty ass somewhere.
Hey, on the real though, bro, when I heard that, I said, yeah, Puffy guilty. I heard he licked the man nut off of him, though. I said, wow.
In court, it was rubbed on his nipples.
See, I have him at Halloween.
A beast, like, you too nasty for me. Well, that's at the level.
So the introduction of the Kid Cudi, he blew up my car. People were saying he held me against my will for this, that, and that, to me, that points more towards, okay, we're trying to piece together, because a RICO Act has to demonstrate a criminal network or a criminal enterprise that he ran. So other than that, we talking about domestic violence, which is, you know, it's criminal. But it's
like that's even with somebody saying Puffy made me do this.
Right.
He put influence over me to make me do this. You know what I mean? He used his influence to make me do it. You know what I mean? So now you're talking about a criminal empire making people do certain stuff.
But doesn't, and once again, I'm no expert on this, but what he's making them do, doesn't it have to contribute to the continuation of said criminal enterprise? Like if he just made me carry some dope for him in the airport so he wouldn't get caught, that's one thing. But if I was his mule, and
remember they got the little white boy for that?
Right, but has he been put on the stand? I don't think he's been put on yet.
But I mean, that's something else. We don't know what happened to his case, but you know what I mean? But that is what they said. That was his.
He beat his case. I think he beat his case. I don't know. It's just like they doing with the white boy. See, I'm doing for Puffy what they doing for the white boy. I'm just, like, hey man, let's look at this. Mama Jenkins said he'll get charged, as she's talking about Maxwell Anderson. He'll get charged, but he's not going to get much time. That's because of the way the laws are written to find a person guilty. I've had jury duty, and when you answer those questions, it's either guilty or not guilty. It's a sad case and a loose nut. If he had help doing this, then there's another murderer on the streets of Milwaukee. Yeah, that's why I said if he didn't do it, and you can trace her last appearance to him, he need to speak now or go sit his ass down. And now you did it then. Like I'm not carrying no life sentence for nobody else. Sorry, homie. Mm-hmm. Love you like cook food, bro. But I'm gonna have to. I'm not gonna do the life for you, man. You shouldn't. I don't understand
how we got. I don't understand how we got all these motherfucking cameras in the city of Milwaukee, and people didn't see that girl go to his house, leave, all that.
They did.
Even, you know what I'm saying? Even with the DNA, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you dismember somebody, oh, yeah. If you dismember somebody in your house, I know. But it wasn't a lot of footage, though.
They reported him. There's people who said they saw a man burn her car, and he was wearing the same outfit. There are people who said they saw him by this water, go and even the cell phone signal says the way it moved, it went down closer to the water. And then there's what they said. They said there's surveillance footage. Now, he wasn't under any kind of surveillance as a criminal. So that tells you about these cameras and these street lights, and you do all kinds of shit. And then look on Channel 6 and be like, God damn, where was the motherfucking camera at? You don't know it's cameras in the stoplights. It's cameras in businesses.
Doorbells
It's
everywhere.
ring
Shit.
cameras, right? Like your ass, look, you creeping on the film, like. They don't
But
know
my
I am.
thing too,
That's
like
your ass.
how
You still got on the jogging suit. That's you.
maybe she wasn't dismembered at his house because I don't see how they didn't find no type of DNA or blood evidence there. Like when you dismember somebody, you know what I'm saying? Like unless you was surgically with it, you know what I'm saying? When he had like a tarp and placed her body and surgical tools when he dismembered her surgically, there's no way where it should be no type of DNA evidence in the house. Maybe he dismembered her somewhere else.
But you know, that's how some of them weird movies be though. You watch the movies and they already have the plastic already on the floor and shit, like they plan to kill the motherfucker that day. So who knows?
Also, his family has money. So, and I'm aware to put my aluminum foil hat on right now. His family has money. So if he called, Dad, I made a mistake. Listen, Maxwell, don't worry about it. I'm gonna call Bob, and he calls. You don't know how money works, Bob. You need to get down there right now, and Bob there might go handle that BI for him. So we don't know. It's I'm throwing something out there, right? I'm throwing some shit against the wall, seeing what sticks. I don't know. Let me see. Kevin LaFleur says he agrees with Mama Jenkins. Y'all can call in too, so I don't got to keep reading. Y'all know as I get tired, my eyes I can't. I'm gonna start misquoting y'all. Ace, truthfully speaking, I think our community is getting tired of watching our people get killed with no retribution. Not gonna lie, after the Carmelo Anthony and the Rodney Hinton Jr., I think they're starting to realize that we ain't gonna just accept bullshit outcomes in the criminal justice system. We starting to take retribution into our own hands. If he gets off, I believe the hood gonna make a point to touch this man. I don't believe that.
No,
like we've been getting.
He'll be flew out of here.
We've been getting the
escorted out to Milwaukee County
we
jail.
just talked about George Zimmerman. We just talked about how many killers have walked after what they. Listen, I'm from the 90s, right? And I remember the last time I seen this go up. Well, it wasn't the last time. I take that back. But one of the first times I seen it go up in my lifetime was 92, Rodney King. Of course, we see what happened in St. Louis, in Ferguson, Missouri, with the young brother, Mike Brown. We see what happened in the Twin Cities with George Floyd. Like, look what happened in Baltimore. Like, black people, there's always hell. Look at what happened here in 2016.
With Seville. Yeah, with Seville.
I stood right on that corner and watched that gas station burn until I thought to myself, like, wait, it's a big ass gas tank underground. Why the fuck am I standing here? I didn't know they had a mechanism in place for the shit. I'm like, all this shit finna be gone, so we got to fuck up out of there. But yeah, so we had riots here in 1967 behind the police killing a black man, right? And so that's always been a thing. So I don't know if they just not looking at us now like, oh, these motherfuckers ain't gonna play no more. If anything, because of the level of surveillance and because of our dependence on the grid, they got more control over us than ever now. Take your ass out there and what he's saying, do the right thing. Radio, go out there and do that shit right now. Your ass will be on Fox 6. If you've seen this, man, please call in. $5,000 reward attached. Your ass is gone that night. Ace says true. Okay, now that was Ace's last comment. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think black people, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I think a lot of black people are so confused and so downtrodden that they don't even know what they should and shouldn't be fighting for right now. I think that, like, because we have so much going on in our city right now that I don't see an uprising about. Like, I had to, for about 3-4 months straight, I had to come on here and keep saying, out of the $200 million that was generated from the tax increase, was it Act 12 or whatever, 90% was already allocated for pension plans. I ain't heard. Shout out to all y'all activists. Shout out to all y'all groups. I ain't really hear a lot of people talking about this, man. And then 10% went to law, fire and police. And then the police chief come out and say, hey, yeah, it's bad, but we really need y'all help in the community. Did you give us any of the motherfucking money? Why do we keep giving you money if you're going to keep telling us you can't protect us? And people just like, MPS just missed a deadline again for their funding. 2 years in a row. We can't blame the new superintendent because she just took over. But after the first, remember they said they was bringing in consultants, and they went and they said the office that was responsible was understaffed, and they had the wrong out of date computer system, and you still turned the shit in late a year later. And they're still talking about cutting teachers. I still haven't heard anybody talk about a 50% truancy rate. Black people will get on the teacher's ass. They will get on MPS's ass. But when we say, but it's a 50% truancy rate, people go to fumbling. They go to dancing. Well, you parents, no, man, people got, no. That shit, look, I wake up in the morning, I go to work, I send you to school. If you don't go, we got an issue. We got an issue here. You have to make a decision, little dude. Like that. You have to go to school, man. As a parent, that is my demand for you. Ain't gonna be nowhere he didn't have his daddy. And if I got 2 jobs, I do get a break at work. I'm calling the school on my break. Is my son there? And this little dude got a cell phone and all kinds of shit. Right? I see people all the time like, you share his location. I don't have an iPhone. So, Androids, I don't think you can share your location. I don't
definitely got my son's location. Where you at?
You can.
Okay. So, but I'm saying, so if you really, your kid, parents are supposed to be parenting. It's 11 o'clock. I'm at work. Let me check his location. What the fuck he doing on 3rd and Galena in the school in Brown Deer? Mr. Johnson, I need, I'm gonna have to punch out for the day. I got to go find this dude. Like, I can't.
How many times can you punch out, Kev?
Well, I'm gonna punch out.
Yeah,
I'm gonna punch out a couple times, right? And I'm gonna go find him. But when I find him, I'm going to explain to him that I'm only gonna leave work so many times, and what I'm gonna do for you is I'm gonna lock my door, and you just can't come home. You just can't come home. And I'm gonna go downtown and talk to the county, because as a parent, you can surrender the rights to your child and say he's not following my rules. So I'm in effect really not parenting him. I'm just worrying. I've given this kid everything I can. So if he's out here and you catch him, don't come to me and say, Mr. Barnes, you should have been. No, I already came down here and talked to y'all and filed whatever necessary paperwork I need to file to say, look, this kid is delinquent. You can get a kid apprehended for going down there reporting them as a delinquent. A lot of people don't know that. I ain't gonna put the laws in my business.
That's the thing too. You know what I mean? I learned that a long time ago in the joint, man. You gotta have a paper trail.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You got something going on. If you involved or whatever, it's got to be a paper trail. You at least trying to rectify the situation or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got to have a paper trail.
And nothing's 100%. Like if you got a kid who's just made up his mind or her mind that they're just not going to do right. As a parent, you got to prepare for that, and you have to let them know, hey man, I've done all I can do for you. And the reality of this is I'm not going to sacrifice my other 3 kids or get put out my home because I got to work and you can't do right. Hey man, I'm about to let you fly. What can I do? I'm not going to worry myself to death. And if you won't listen, they got a place where you can learn. If you live that long, when you get in that goddamn penitentiary, don't call them, hey dad, hey, how that shit go, man. Stand up, gangster, right? Like, stand on your feet, G, right? Go face them people.
That's real shit right there.
It's hard, but it's fair.
Monitor a kid 24/7, 7 days a week, because like you said, you still got a life to live and things like that, so shit, if they ain't going to school and they don't want to listen to you gotta kick rocks, real life talk.
I was told I've done the best I can for you, right from wrong. If you go to jail, don't call me. And the one time I went to jail, I did not call. I called my brother. I ain't called my mom's. I ain't call home. I'll call my brother like, hey man, dog, I need you to go downstairs in my room. I got $700 in the box. And then my brother was like, man, you're going to be out in the morning. I ain't coming down there with no goddamn bail. I had to spend the night. So, and when I came home, my mother knew nothing about it. And she didn't find out till years later. She said, that's where your motherfucking ass was. I said, you told me don't call you. She said, you right, because you'd have called me, I'd have hung up on you. What you called me for? So tough love, man. Tough love is hard. And as a parent, man, you want your kid you want the best for them. But listen, man, at a certain point, that kid got to want to do for his or herself. And so if you're not going to school, we have a serious problem. You're not going to get new Jordans from me. You're not going to be walking around with an iPhone Plus. You ain't going to have, boy, you're going to have on some shower shoes in the gym, hooping like a mother.
You're going to have a flip phone.
You don't even have a phone. You'll have a walkie-talkie.
Straight up.
So you can, Dad, I'm at the bus stop. 10-4. Bring your ass home. Like I'm not rewarding foolishness, man.
But you know what though? I'm suffering from another like opposite of that. Like with my girl, like her son, he ain't no bad kid, but like she do everything for the nigga. You know, like that should be frustrating me. Like she paying the boy college. He go to Alabama A&M. She paying for his tuition. Getting him her car. Got a brand new motor put in the car. The nigga couldn't even drive from Alabama with her. She went down there to go pick him up, you know, for the school. I said, I'm not going down there with you no more, because you, every 5 minutes, you running back and forth to that fucking college anytime he needs something, you know what I'm saying? So he couldn't even, like, and then now she going to Vegas in July, paying for the boy to go to Vegas. I'm like, if the nigga didn't have no money to put on the trip, he shouldn't even been going. So, like, when you doing all that, I think when you doing all that for him, not showing him how to have any responsibility, I don't know what type of nigga he gonna be, but I told her, like, we move together because I want to buy. She thinking about moving down south with me because I've been making the houses, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, I really don't want, you know, motherfucker is a guest. When you cut, you gotta knock on the door.
That's mama love, though. Like, ain't nothing you gonna say about that. That's mama love.
Man, that should be irritating me, though,
But
bro.
I'd rather see her supporting him in that than him being out here just running rip shit through the streets and she like, leave him alone. Like, you know, where does it? And nobody's justified to say how much you should love or how much you should do for your child. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to come off as that. I'm just telling people that you have to provide some sort of structure and a system of accountability for your child, and to let them know that, look, once you get to a certain level, especially with the streets, I can't save you anymore. Like, it's too late for me to start. Once you done shot somebody, or, you know, once you done got shot or killed, there's nothing I can do. Now, I have a very interesting.
Up the house, yeah.
I got a very interesting comment in the chat room. Amir Zakir, shout out to you, brother. He said, as a young person myself, who's done both juvenile and adult sentences, some people are too quick to give up because we don't have the answers. Prison should never be an option for any youth. It's always redemption. Sometimes it's not the messages, it's the messenger. Listen, okay, so
prison was the right messenger for me.
Okay.
Shit, it got that shit straight through to me. I mean, I wasn't listening to nobody else. You know what I mean? When I was out there, but shit, prison got to me. It gave me time to sit down, get my mind right, read some motherfucking books. You know what I mean? Sense into a nigga. You know what I mean? Sometimes we need that.
Mm-hmm. Well, I say this.
I agree.
I'll say this. I'm never, like, just because you're going through problems as my child, I'm not going to abandon ship early, right? Like, I'm not, as soon as you mess up, I'm like, oh, fuck it, get out. No.
Right.
I'm talking about a long period of time, like Kamar said, that paper trail, that evidence of me doing my damnedest to help you, right? It wouldn't be like, okay, he got suspended, nigga, you got to move. Nah, you know, like, we talking about years of my life where I'm going steadily saying, man, I don't know how many times I can say this to you. Like, I'm doing my best. I'm presenting you with options. And you still, as they say, don't believe fat meat greasy. Then you got to learn the hard way, young brother, young sister. And in our community right now, we see that young people have figured out that as a juvenile, I can get away with a lot of shit. They're going to give me a slap on the wrist. But these crimes have become so counterproductive to our community. Yeah. Innocent people getting murdered sitting at a stoplight, driving through an intersection, senior citizens, babies getting shot in the midst of shootouts. When we start seeing this kind of behavior, a statement has to be made. So I agree with you, man. We can't be too quick, because I was left of the line, right? And nobody gave up on me, but I also was the type of individual that I wasn't so gone that I was unapproachable. And I knew right from wrong. So it only took a couple of, you know, real adults and people who I knew to come and say, hey, man, Kev, you know that. Come on, man. You was raised better than that. You know, Rem Barnes and Miss Barnes will kick your ass. And you right. I need to do better. Right? That's what I'm saying. Now, if you came
it definitely depends on the person, though. You know what I'm saying? I feel like when I was young and I was fucking up and doing all the shit I was doing. I think people were saying stuff, but I wasn't giving a fuck and I wasn't hearing it. And I was doing what I wanted to do until I decided to make a change. You know, nigga had a kid and you still growing up. I think it was a personal decision. Whereas like right now, my son, he's about to go to college. But right now in this limbo of getting ready to go to college, oh my gosh, it feels like he's just a Milwaukee nigga. And it's like, fam, don't do it. You finna go. And it just, he's not listening to nobody. He don't want to hear shit. It's like, and
yeah.
I mean, it's like, now you're 18. So if something happens,
that's it.
You know what I'm saying? I got it. I got it figured out. I know what I'm doing.
Right. And trust me, he don't know sheep shit from wild honey, because I got an 18-year-old right now that I done turned blue in the face talking to, and I know, Dad. I know. No, you ain't.
You don't goddamn know, man.
You don't know nothing, right? And come on, man. He said, so what does it say about us, not our youth? Well, what does it say about us? That we got young people? That we got young people who feel like I don't have to follow any rules. I don't have to worry about any accountability. I can do whatever I want to do. I don't think that's necessarily a reflection on us. Us is a big word. Us is a big word. That's like saying the majority of the community is criminals. I think the criminal element in our community is very small, because I've said this a million times. Black people are the most loving. What we like to party, we like to eat, we like to dance. How many goddamn dance videos is it right now? You put a dance video out, where them fans at? We want to party.
Hey, you know,
in our community that is very violent and very aggressive, and I don't think that represents the majority of parents either, because my 20-something years in education and social services, I've encountered a lot of good parents who have kids for whatever reason that have made decisions, and I tried, Mr. Barnes. I've tried. I did this. I did that. I've coached kids in youth sports who I know they had parents who were there, who were trying their ass off, and the kids still slipped away. So I don't know if it's necessarily a reflection on us. I like to see if everybody else feels that way.
I don't think it's parents. Even me, me being a parent and me being a troubled youth, my mama was trying, and I just didn't give a fuck. And I think it was the people around. It was, all right, say it's something about Milwaukee, nigga, get pulled in. I don't know what it is. You get pulled into some bullshit and just be doing it. Like, and then also getting into this technology era, social media, all the fucking just random shit on TV. I really think a lot of TV and media has to do with teens and youth now. Like, they follow a lot of the music, and it's a lot
just like we did. Just like we did.
I think we all played a part, but it ain't our fault so much. You know what I mean? Because our community been like this for generations.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And it's just a thing about growing up. You feel like you know everything. I know what's best. You know what I'm saying? You grow through that stage. You go through that stage where can't nobody really tell you much. You know what I'm saying? So then it gets to a point when you a parent. You know what I mean? You got a child that don't want to listen. They just gonna keep doing what they want to do when they want to do it. You know what I mean? They gonna run these streets, steal the cars, do whatever, no matter what you say or do.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So now you get to a point where it's either time for you to do something. Okay, well, I need to start. I need to get him off the streets, because if he keep up with this lifestyle, something else can happen to him out here in these streets. Because he ain't listening to me. Because see, not only am I protecting him from jail, but I'm trying to protect him from these niggas out here.
Yeah.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? But then like, even on that note, this shit has been generational. So it's hard. I don't think it would be healthy for us to try to shoulder the blame.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because for one, we played a part in it when we was kids. We did this shit too.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of this shit. You know what I'm saying? And there was people in our ear saying, hey, y'all need to stop this. You know what I'm saying? So, and we can't say that they failed us, because look at us now. You know, they put the seed in us, and now we watering the seed now at this point in our life. So we trying to make better. You know what I mean? And I just don't want to put too much of the blame on us like that, because it's a collective.
It's a great conversation, because Kamar, you know, you and I have encountered this before, because we've talked about this where to blame, and I think sometimes we look for blame when I don't think this is a situation where we should be looking for who to blame things on. We should be looking for solutions to implement. right, to create change. Like, because generationally we can go back and look at a lot of things that happened historically. I'm gonna give you an example, but let me read these comments.
I want to be like Dion. I want to blame it on slavery.
He said, we failed as a community, but we can't condemn the youth for what we produced. We have to be accountable. I can only be accountable for what I've done.
And you know, he's right though too. You know what I mean? We can't totally condemn the youth, and I don't think we are. You know what I'm saying? But as we go to the point about like the destruction of the community, we got people that's out here actively destroying the community, destroying people in the community. You know what I mean? Now, how long do we hold their hand and hope they start acting right? I
don't speak emoji.
And it's a fine line, you know what I mean? And it's really a hard conversation to have. Because none of us want to bring no harm to the youth, but we want them to get right. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and I don't do emojis, y'all, so I don't know what this is. I don't know if
hands. It feels like
okay. Once again, I'm old. I can't see, and most of the time when I see them, I don't know what they mean. So. Kevin LaFleur said we did it. We did a lot of things. Listen, and what I learned is my dad and his brothers did a lot of things, and their fathers did a lot of things.
And let's look at this aspect too. You know what I mean? Sure enough, we made the decisions to do what we did, but a lot of us went to prison. And we was out of the kids' lives for a long time. You know what I mean? So that's why I say some of it was our fault. You know what I mean? We got to be accountable for some of it to continue. We promoted the bullshit, all that. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day. You know what I mean? So we saying the same things. We are. You know what I mean?
Right. And that's why don't nobody need to get all upset and shit and get mad. Like you know, fuck y'all. Like, just like calm down. Like, what are you talking about? Relax, man. He said he put it up. It means blessings. Shout out to you, my brother. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, that's my man Zamir.
Okay. Shout out to him.
He really be out. He really be out here in the youth. I think he be with the 414 crew too.
Okay. I mean, did he come? Is this the brother that I met at the when you was having an event? Because I had met.
No, I don't think he came to Wellness Our Way.
Okay. Because I know I met a brother who said he rocked with 414. There, and I said I was gonna bring him on the show, but I didn't lie. I forgot. I'm old, right? Kevin LaFleur said they was raised on pills, and he says we listen.
I think that might have been Ray Mendoza.
No, it wasn't Ray. You know, I know Ray Mendoza. He's been here in the house, and I know Forte. Like I know some of the brothers. And you remember Kamar when we had our little internet beef with them. And they brought we had Reggie Moore. Reggie Moore brought like 30 people on my show. The shit was funny as hell. It was this screen.
Hey, look, and it wasn't even. We didn't have no beef.
Liz Brown had a beef with him.
We was just trying to do a show,
right?
You know what I mean? And there was somebody else that was on the show who I think was it Sean Moore?
It was Liz Brown.
It was somebody on the show, and they was like, "I'm not going on the show with him."
Because we were on WNOV and she called him out. And then
it was remember, I think Sean was supposed to be on.
He didn't show.
And the head brother was supposed to be on.
Reggie Moore, he was here.
Yeah, Reggie Moore. That's what I'm saying, and that's how it started.
I just know it's a lot of people.
And then remember, he said, "Hold on, no, I ain't coming on." And then I had a long talk with my homeboy Hamid, who was rocking with him too, remember? And then we wound up having the show.
Yeah.
And then he brought Reggie Moore brought like 30 people with him. We had 30 screens on one screen.
Yeah, I need to go come out. I would have to dig so deep in the archives to even find that show, but it was very funny. It was just I don't know if he thought I wouldn't be able to. Like I literally gave everybody on the screen a chance to say who they were and what they did, and this kind of it was crazy, man. After I did that show, I was like, you know what, I can do this. If I can get that shit, I can do this. That shit was crazy. Let me see. Mama Jenkins said that lawyer is a top criminal lawyer and his parents are wealthy and paying the bill. Kevin, not a one activist was in court today, but the case is just getting started. This information that I was given earlier, the jurors are the ones to decide this case. Right. Well, that's what we talked about, what the jury was made up of and I think it's 3 black women. I mean, 3 black people. Was it 12 women or I don't know. It was. They gave a breakdown. It's in the People's News Network. I just know 3 black people. But yeah. So
Yeah.
those conversations.
Yeah, you know, I've been schooling, I've been learning. So that intersectionality, I wonder will it matter at all? So the intersectionality, sometimes there's not much intersectionality there, but there's an intersection. So the intersectionality is like if there's a person on the jury that is black and woman, we've intersected. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like I wonder how things will go where there are black people there, but there are also women there. Will you care the intersection of being a woman
right. and being black? Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Or do you not care because that's a black woman? So it's like, you know, that life ain't really, you know.
Yeah, I did jury duty one time. First of all, let me say it was horrible. And I had to listen through this whole entire case, but I don't know if this is intersectionality, but the case was a baby father against the mother, and the baby mother had like basically come into the house and caught this brother with his new girlfriend and basically just started whooping everybody's ass, right? And so he was advocating and trying to get her locked up, right? And as a juror, I'm sitting here and we go through all this and we meet. And I actually voted. I kind of swung it because I was like, I'm not going to vote for her as guilty. Everybody's like, she's guilty. I'm like, no, I don't believe she's guilty. And they asked me why. I said, because you have to get rid of reasonable doubt. I doubt that he's being honest. I don't think he's telling the whole story because he got up there and testified and everything on how she came in the house and grabbed a pan off the stove. And I said she was obviously emotionally manipulated. Like I laid my little whole thing out. And she got off. I'm not saying it's because of me. I'm just saying I made people in the jury say, well, you know what? We didn't think about it that way. And she got off. This lady was crying. She had babies. And I'm looking at dude like, you's a whole mog. How you want? You got caught cheating, man. You got caught. You finessing them, right? You eating on both sides of the fence. You know what I'm saying? And she came into your house where you was staying. You was laid up in the room with another woman. She went Rambo. Because she had been manipulated. You had been playing this game, and now you want her to go to jail? No, hell no. And she got off. She was crying. I went up to her after to tell her, you know, God bless you. She hugged me and everything. Like, thank you so much. She didn't know how I voted. I'm just saying I went up to her and said, I didn't think you should have gone to jail. Shame on dude. I just felt like he was a buster. Like, yeah, come on, man. He's showing he had some little pictures of some little scars on his hand. Like, this was she scratched me. I'm like, you a whole buster. Like, come on, man. And I had fallen asleep one day, and the black lady came to me and said, dude, the whole time we think you wasn't paying attention. You don't went to sleep. We asked you to sum it up on the last day. You just ran down the whole shit and changed the tide. Like I said, I was listening. I wasn't asleep. I was hungover. My eyes were just closed. Earl Henning in the chat room. How you doing, Earl? He said, what it do? My brothers and sisters love us. Mama Jenkins says 12 women and 3 men, 3 black women. They will not let me do duty anymore. Long story. They bind. Mama Jenkins got banned from doing jury duty, man. He said you got her off. You know what? Just because I said, let's look at this, right? Like the job of the prosecutors is to remove any doubt in our mind about her guilt, correct? I said, I have doubts. I don't think she's guilty. And then a couple other people say, you know what? Well, maybe you're right. She was manipulated. Like this sister was in tears, man, on the stand. And her whole thing was like, I got 4 kids. I'm already struggling. He don't help me with my kids. If I go to the house of correction, I could lose my kids and I'll have a criminal conviction of assault, right? Like it's going to be hard for me to find a job. And I'm looking at dude and I'm like, dude, man, I had no respect for dude. He just looked like a mog. Like he would have never been able to kick it with us. I'm looking at, and his testimony was like, I'm like, who is your homeboys? Your guys should be like, man, he was a mark, dog. You really finna go down there and testify on your baby mama? Come on, man. Stop it. But that was a long time. And they ain't never asked me back since. I wonder, is that coincidental? They never asked me back after that and shit. I had to miss 3 days of work.
Yeah,
now,
off and shit.
Now
to go that way. Like,
Well, you know, I hope she didn't come back and beat him up later and go back to jail anyways. I hope she just
that bitch ass nigga.
right. Yeah. I hope she just said, you know what, I ain't messing with this dude no more. This dude tried to send me to Tay Cheetah.
Yeah, usually that should be the cutoff. You know, everybody got them that cutoff. That should be it. So, man,
you hope,
you want to try to send me to jail? Nigga.
It's something about them baby mamas though. I don't know if it just kind of throws off your mentals. Like I rarely ever run into a regular normal baby mama. Like she's usually off a little bit when it comes to her baby daddy. Cause I guess it'd be so much there. Like at a certain point, there's no rationing. There's no rational thoughts with baby mamas. Like this dude is like, they want him to die in hell. Like some shout out to the sisters who be like, no, I'm gonna go down there and take the child support off of him. He takes care of his kids and whatnot. But a lot of baby mamas just be like, man, brothers be suffering, man. I'd be like, damn, dog, who was that in front of your house with the fire? That's my baby mama, dog. Damn, she just pull up and throw some fire out the car. Like shit.
I'm getting both sides of the fence. So.
Okay. I didn't.
I think my friends, they told me that. They was like, folks, I didn't know you was crazy until your ear broke up. I was like, oh, at least I didn't know Brittany was crazy. So I was like,
y'all just found out, right? Like,
yeah, they done thing, you know what I'm saying? But it's all
I bet you he was saying it months before, like, dude, this girl crazy in the motherfucker, man. Like,
let me know. I'm your favorite crazy person.
Well, it'd be like that, you know, when you sometimes when you procreate a child and you know you still have love for that person, but you be like, but I hate her though. Like it's just like one of them things where it's like I've never had that experience, so I don't know. I don't want people to you don't know what you're talking about. So
right, that's right, Kev.
Right. Well, yeah, and I'm not. Once again, don't give me no cookie. I did what I was supposed to do, so I don't deserve no award for it. I wasn't supposed to have a bunch of kids and then get married. I was supposed to wait until I, got married and had kids by her. So I'm not asking for no award. It's been 5 years since George Floyd was murdered in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I feel like our country changed. I think George Floyd, along with the pandemic, are two events historically that just kind of twisted history and just sent it into a different direction, because a lot of this DEI talk and a lot of this equity and inclusion and all this kind of stuff really sparked up after George Floyd was murdered in Minneapolis. And when they talk about post George Floyd, that's actually a thing. When you talk to sociologists and historians, they say post George Floyd America. 5 years since George Floyd was murdered, and are we still seeing unjustified police killings? Absolutely.
Yes.
Are we still have we dealt with diplomatic or qualified immunity? We have not. Have we really engaged in real law enforcement reform? We haven't. The Democrats lied to us. Joe Biden and Kamala ran on that, and then when he got elected, he was like, "Oh yeah, we just bullshit." And we know Trump ain't gonna do it. What's the sister name in Illinois who was murdered by the police? And Trump was like, people make mistakes. Like, so what effect, if any, has the George Floyd murder in terms of long-term change created? Do y'all feel like anything is different now, or is it just a footnote in history in which people, especially in Minneapolis, went banana, wild, ape shit, right? And people all over the country. But do y'all feel like
it got choked out here? What, last summer? Because Sean recorded it. What was that, last year?
Well, that was the hotel. That was the Hyatt Regency, the security guards who murdered the brother. And I hope they're gone. Like, and Sean Moore did put that footage up, right? And shout out to Sean. But that wasn't police. Now the police did. The Columbus, Ohio police during the Republican National Convention murdered a homeless brother who had a knife, and they were just exonerated. Police don't get convicted for killing people.
No,
they don't. That hasn't changed. Now, Chauvin got convicted. Chauvin got convicted for what he did, but they tried to say, nah, actually Floyd was on drugs and he had fentanyl and he would have been dead 2 hours later anyways, but Chauvin still got convicted. I think the image of the knee on the back of the neck just kind of like it was like I say, way back in the days when Northern liberals seen those attack dogs and those fire hoses turned on those children. right? And they don't even, a lot of people don't understand that the civil rights movement put those children out there to protest because they knew the police would beat them up, but they thought it would be mercy given to the children. No. Bull Connor and them said, fuck that. And so when people seen that on television after they got off work in the evening and came home to their nice cozy home and said, what? Just because they want to vote? And that kind of put some fire behind the civil rights movement. So when you see Chauvin with his knee on the back of the neck, it's an indelible image that's burnt into your head where you say, holy shit. It's like the videotape of the officers in LA beating Rodney King, where people count the licks. None of us can ever forget seeing that VHS tape, that camcorder tape the first time we said, Courtney, I know you probably wasn't born yet, but that was 92. Courtney, like, I don't know.
I was born. I just was young. Was
okay.
Like
you still, okay. So you just was like, I don't get it. Right? Like,
right. I might have saw it. Didn't, yeah.
Right. But I felt like with what happened to Philando Castile in the cities in Minnesota was more egregious because he was shot multiple times in front of his 6-year-old daughter.
Yeah, that was wild.
And that dude was exonerated. The Hmong or Asian cop.
Was he?
Yes. Get convicted for that.
Actually, I wasn't even in America when this stuff was happening. Rodney King. I was in Germany.
Yeah, no, see, I've been here. And so, I'm old. Listen, this is how old I am. I'm so old, I remember Ernest Lacey got killed by the police in Milwaukee. And my mom marched for Ernest Lacey. So we talking about 1980, 81. I wasn't like Courtney. I think I was about like 5, like during that time. I ain't gonna say I was out there too with a sign. No, I was like, Mama, where you going? Let me go. You know what I'm saying? I was a little kid, but I remember what it was about because she explained it, like, because she had been here during the protests of Daniel Bell in the 50s, who was killed by the police. And it took 30 years for one of the officers on his deathbed to admit they killed him and put a knife in his hand and framed him. That's all history. You can go and look it all up here. And his family got, what did they get? A couple $1,000. Like there's a story about the tragedy of what happened to his family. And he was mentally ill. So my point in all this is police have been murdering us unjustifiably for a very long time. And I think it created some awareness, but you see all of the mechanisms that were put in place in terms of DEI and race and talking about dealing with race and all this kind of stuff have been dismantled by the Trump regime. Yeah. They've come in and said, no more Black Lives Matter shit, which we know as real Black people, foundational Black Americans. The Black Lives Matter movement wasn't our movement in the first place. Come on, let's be honest. That's an LGBTQ initiative. And it's one of those things where we started to identify people as tethers. Like we do all the work and then you jump on board when the car started moving.
Right.
I think that should be our new awareness that let's self-identify who we are so that when something is done, because we got supremely overshadowed when it came to civil rights. Right? When you hear civil rights movement, what you think about? Martin Luther King speaking in Washington. He had a dream, right? Civil rights, them Black people in Alabama who got hung for trying to vote. No, that's not who reaped the benefits of it. White women, white women, and gay people. Come on, like, hey, oh man, listen. Earl Henny said this is the lady.
Minority.
He said the lady who I was talking about. He said she's doing 5 years now for battery. I hope not, because if that's the case, oh man. Mama Jenkins said nothing has changed. I keep saying when the laws change and they start locking these motherfuckers up, then it'll stop. The Floyd family got paid and got out of sight. So I'm part of the injustice when it comes to police shootings. Absolutely. Mama Jenkins' son was murdered by the police. She said the families are suffering and nothing has changed. And that's what I'm saying. Like, we were supposed to, this is one of those things, Dion, where you keep saying we can't use our votes as a bargaining chip, but we should have been demanding law enforcement reform. Sorry, y'all. Law enforcement reform to anybody who wants our vote. It should be a condition.
Man, we've been demanding law enforcement reform since Martin Luther King.
But did we really demand it? Have we really demanded it? I don't think we demanded anything to Nixon or Reagan.
Yeah.
I don't think we demanded anything. I just look at it
as like white people, this is what they're quickly saying. We don't because they quick to try to, look, black man killed another black man, and y'all not outraged about that. But if a black man kills another black man, he's gonna be held accountable for that. You know what I'm saying? All we're saying is that we're just as upset and outraged as a black man killing another black man as the police killing a black man. All we're simply saying is that we want some accountability. But white people, they look at it, they really don't value our lives. You know what I'm saying? Because like right now, I don't know how old they are. They don't be having dates on them, but social media is going wild with just people using the N-word, saying this, saying that, being boisterous and aggressive towards black people. I think I shared it in the People News Network. Did you see, the police always talking about they fear for their lives and this, that, and the other, but they exercise every bit of restraint when it comes with somebody that looks like them versus somebody that looks like you and I. It was a guy that police pulled up in California. The white man had an AR-15. They retreated, you know what I'm saying? Got to pull him back in their car. I don't know the time stamp, the date of the video, but I believe it was fairly recent. I don't know how recent it was, maybe a year, maybe months ago. But they showed the guy had an AR-15, the police pull up, and instead of using deadly force on him or even use some type of force so he'd drop the weapon, they retreated. So it just goes along with the history of America and the bigotry that they hold towards white people. You feel what I'm saying?
Well, I do hear you, but let's be honest. There are some white dudes who get killed by police too. Now, I remember maybe 5 years ago, there was a brother on 42nd and Capitol, and I don't know if he was mentally ill or what, but he whooped a lot of police ass. It was on the news.
I remember that.
They couldn't break him down with the tasers. They couldn't break him down with the billy clubs. It was some police who went to the hospital that day, and they didn't shoot him. They did not shoot him, and I thought that this is gonna be lights out, but they didn't. And there's cases where somebody was wilding out and they didn't get killed, but there's some cases where somebody wasn't even tripping and they got murked. But there's some times when police it's not this. I'm not trying to justify anything. I want Ewok to think I'm white splaining. I'm just saying, like, and whoever said that black people aren't enraged when a black man kills another black man, they're idiots. And they obviously haven't spent any time in our community, because we are just as upset. It's almost sadder when one of us kills another one of us. Like, we really look at that like, God damn, dog. Like, that's us who did that. I'm quick to point that out. Yeah. Everybody, the white man. And I look at a lot of these crimes and say, it wasn't no white dude in that car. It wasn't no white dude with that gun. Now, I could, if I really wanted to go deep and say, well, the white man, the reason he had the gun and the system that they created and slavery, and because then I think you're taking accountability away from that individual as to what they did. I've met a lot of criminals who, once they went to jail and they did time, they said, you know what? There were a lot of people who tried to help me. I wasn't trying to hear that shit. As a matter of fact, I took advantage of a lot of people who tried to help me. And when I hear that and I say, well, so it wasn't a white man? And it wasn't. It was that individual. So I just think, yeah, we do need law enforcement reform. Let's say that. I agree with that, because there's been too many cases where it was just too egregious that the cops did it and got away with it. Mama Jenkins said he beat the shit out of those rogue ass cops. They learned that day. She said, and I watched that action. Yeah, we watched back in that day, back in those times, but back in that year, I'm saying, like, it was ancient, but I had the video on the show. Come on, I don't know if you were on the show yet. I had the video and we were playing the video, like, just tripping off how many police he was getting down. Like, I was like, dude, if I was a cop, I would have turned around and went to my car and pulled off. Like, nah, like I'm telling you, about 3 or 4 cops went to the hospital, man, with some serious injuries. Like, he was zoned out, man. They was hitting him with that billy club. Bow, trying to hit him on his legs and knock him down. He just grab him. Bow, knock him out. And just, they hit him with the taser. He snatched it off of him. Like, get your shit off me.
Now, who did that? Who?
It was a young brother. This was on Capitol Drive, like 42nd and Capitol Drive. This was like maybe, I want to say 6, 7 years ago. It was a while. It was pre-pandemic. It was post 2016, but it was crazy, and it was on the news, and people was just like, dude, we thought they was gonna shoot him. But yeah, we definitely need law enforcement reform. We need a bunch of reforms in this country.
We do.
We do. We absolutely do. We need a bunch of reform. We need reform of the education system. We need law enforcement reform. We with this big budget, what do you call it, the big beautiful bill with Trump just came through and changed a bunch of tax laws. And people might say, well, Kev, he got rid of tax on overtime and no tax on tips. But he also cut Medicaid and he cut welfare benefits, right? Mm-hmm. He's also given wealthy taxpayers a tax break. So I don't, once again, but there was some reform needed there's still some reform needed to how we're taxed. Like in terms of Wisconsin and Milwaukee, we need some tax code reforms. Because the way they raped the shit out of the property tax levy is crazy. Crazy. Mama Jenkins said it was 2017. She said she'll post the article.
All right, thank you.
Always count on Mama Jenkins, man. So I wasn't that far off, right? 2017. I just remember seeing it on the news. I've seen that more than once, though, where somebody is, like just having an episode and the police can't really do anything, and you think, well, they're going to shoot him. As a matter of fact, we had a young man at St. Charles one time who, if you're familiar with Watertown Plank Road, and it's crazy because they're tearing it down now by the mental health facility. We had a young man in there who had some severe mental health issues, and he was one of those dudes who's like a young, stocky, looked like a young Mike Tyson, right? You could tell he was capable of some damage, and I was his caseworker, so I had gone home with him and spoken to his family on what got him in there, and he basically beat the shit out of his daddy and a couple of his brothers, and then a couple of the police when they came to get him. So my whole thing was, let's keep this young brother calm, right? Like, don't get him upset, right? And we had some female staff who, sisters, they, you ain't running shit around here. Yeah. We like, hey, yo, don't agitate him, man. Just, especially when it's none of the men on staff. So if it's just, all females, I don't expect y'all to be able to handle this young brother. And they fucked up one day and snatched the phone from him and hung it up because he wasn't supposed to be on the phone. Man, that brother went in, and all the sisters was locked up in the office trying to stay safe from him. The sheriff who came couldn't handle him. He actually kicked the window out the car when they were trying to put him in the car. Like and you think they're gonna shoot him because they hit him with the stick. That didn't bother him. They tased him. It didn't bother him. He was still fighting. I ain't going to jail. And so he gave them sheriffs a run for their money. They had to earn their paychecks that night. I came to work. I said, I told y'all, man. Like, don't agitate him. I'd have let him stay on the phone. Like, hey, man, you got to hang up. You don't snatch the phone and hang up on the boy mama. Hoo-wee. That's why all y'all was locked up in the office. And we had an office with all windows. So you just sitting there watching him tear up the whole unit. It's just like he's throwing chairs, trying to bust the window to get in there on y'all. Crazy. Some brothers got that. We used to call it retarded strength. I don't know if they still call it that. Remember back in the day, saying that boy, he got that retarded strength.
Yeah, he got that retarded. Right.
You ain't supposed to
that
say
means he's strong as a motherfucker. Hey, that was really a compliment.
Yeah.
It was really a compliment.
Yeah. Because we all went to school. See, we went to MPS during the times when special education meant special education. So they was in the basement in a room with a sink in it. And it was always one dude in that class nobody was messing with, not even the teachers. Because,
hey, no bullshit. MPS on 52nd and Relief, that basement, I'm serious. I ain't lying. I went down there because that's where you go get the snacks and shit at. And boy, it's a different world down there. It's like everybody on Seroquel and that other shit I forgot to have you just, man, I don't know, man. It's like they people under the stairs.
I taught special education.
It's like they people under the stairs.
I taught special education, self-contained special education. And I'm telling you, some of them kids had some for real issues. Like I really had to bring the nurse in at certain times of the day and say, let little dude get his meds because I wasn't, you get your ass whooped messing with me back then too. Because boy, I was still young and strong. So you gonna sit down or you gonna leave. One of the two. Ain't gonna be, Mr. Barnes, I'll whoop your ass. Oh, okay. You're gonna learn today, but them kids had some issues, man. I special education made me say, you know what? I'm getting out of this classroom. I ain't never coming back. And I did just that. I ran from MPS. People like, you so stupid. I'm like, shit, you ain't seen what I done seen. Now look, we're prophets on this show. I'm gonna have to start coming up with some ways to label us as prophets. Because a lot of times we make a call on something and then it's probably an unpopular opinion at the time. but then it turns out it comes to fruition, as they say. And Kamar and I were probably about 6-7 years ago, Kamar, because this was pre-pandemic. I was trying to figure out how to get a show heat. Like I said, I'm gonna have to start putting up certain controversial quotes so people can tune into the show. And I put up a post on Facebook that said Papoose is a cornball, right? Mm-hmm. We got verbally assaulted by women. Like, he ain't no cornball. He just love his woman. He black love. Hey, I said, man, come on.
What's funny is I was saying he ain't no cornball, but I got grouped in with a by association. Right?
This is true. You were trying to defend him. I was on the island by myself saying, nah, that's some bullshit, man.
It's still, y'all.
Yeah, because we couldn't even do the show that night because we just had females in the chat room who was just going. They said we was corny. They told Kamar being a vegan was corny.
Oh, wow.
The logo is cornball. Like, they went in on us, right? And it was a funny show because at the time I was saying this doesn't seem right to me. Something seems amiss. Oh no, that's black love. Remy and Papoose are black love. Now, over the weekend, it started on about last Thursday, man. Mm-hmm. Remy Martin, if y'all ain't familiar with hip hop, it is what it is, right? I live in the Pie-verse. So Remy Martin and Papoose, first of all, I never could get past the fact that his name was Papoose. That kept me from ever buying a record of his. Like, I love me some Papoose.
What if that's his real name, though, Kev?
That's not his real name. That's not his name. That's not his. That's not
his name, Kev. No.
And Papoose Jones, Papoose, who live right there out. I just thought the whole thing was manufactured, and I thought that when I'm looking, I'm saying that doesn't even seem realistic. And then it's all these accusations come out where she cheated with a woman. And then she says he's a bum. He's never had any money. I pay all the bills. And then he said, well, I wrote 90% of your rhymes. And Clarissa Shields done jumped in it because he's messing with Clarissa Shields, who is this female boxing phenom, right? And so she's only 28. This brother's 47 years old. And she don't know.
You got him some young meat.
Well, but she's a knockout artist, so I don't know how this works. I prefer my woman not to have a better jab than me, but that's just my personal preference. I don't know, but she's young, so she kind of comes in on the tail end of this, and heaven knows what she's looking for in terms of companionship.
She want love.
Right. Well, yeah, young sisters, especially she's a boxer, so a lot of men might not really respect her femininity. It's like, nah, I ain't fucking with you. But so she got caught up in it, and Remy Martin just hit everybody with strays. Her, his kids, right? Like, she put all his business out there, and I'm sitting around like, ain't nobody gonna hit me and say, "Kid, my bad, you was right." And I not that he's a cornball, but the way he went about participating in this sham of a relationship was cornball shit. You put this up on Love and Hip Hop, and you've been out here with your t-shirt on and all this kind of shit. I'm with her, she with me. You knew the shit was fake, but you continued to play along. And in the end, it came back to bite you in your ass. So shout out to everybody who dissed me when I said he was a cornball. Yeah.
He still came out on top. Fake? He came out on top.
How did he come out on top?
Because his bounce back relationship looked a hell of a lot better than hers.
Yeah.
Woo. That's debatable. That is debatable because the young brother.
She would have fucking bummed, dog. And he got a champion. He got a world champion. She got a bum.
Papoose out here holding the dummies, he training her. He became a boxing manager.
Yeah, he is.
But I feel like maybe he used to box. Didn't he knock dude out?
He ain't used to box. He been rapping since 2002.
He boxed in the hood. People boxing in the King Center. He could have been one of them young men in the hood boxing.
Dig this, right? Hey, dig this. Look at the situation. Look at how he kicking it, though, right? Like, back in the day, niggas would have said he was a Mac for real. Like, this, he got chicks taking care of him. Like, he moved in with old girl, got her rocking, doing everything he need, taking care of him. And now he with her. And, man, niggas would have been calling him a big old player back in the day. What you mean?
Listen, there's people who felt like Remy was more dominant in their relationship because she had shot the young lady and done time, and so she was a real gangster thug. And now he's moved on to another woman who people say, "Yo, she wearing the pants in the family." So I don't know if people that said he's a player, but they said, but he know how to find it. He know how to get paid, right? Like he's always with a woman.
Remy a little bit more strapped though. I ain't gonna lie, Remy.
She's what?
Clarice ain't bad. Remy a little bit more strapped though.
Remy is makeup.
Her ass is fat.
No.
You hear me?
I think it's more of a flex. Yeah. I think it's more of a flex to say you got Clarice Shields than to say you got Remy Ma.
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Because she a boxer, that's why.
I would say
she a world champion, nigga, and Remy ain't shit no more.
That's what I was gonna say, Kamar.
Remy ain't shit, but hey, listen. Remy ain't shit, but a motherfucker that'll bounce on your motherfucking ass after you done held her down, nigga.
Ooh,
yeah.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know though. I feel like Remy.
I was gonna say the only reason he won is because his bounce back was a champion boxer, and hers was Easy to Block Captain, who's a battle rapper. His name is Easy to Block Captain, right? Like,
Captain, right?
Like is she flexing with him like
Block Captain? She the world champion, right?
Yeah, but it was her league. I think it's her battle rap league that he raps in. So
yeah, she wouldn't got the help.
I don't know. Let me see.
With the help.
Who is this? This is Earl Henning. He said I hit them walls with the left, right. Yeah, you better be careful though. Like once again, you fuck around with Clarissa, man. I don't know how she is outside the ring, but I done seen some of her fights, man. That girl got hands for real. So he better not. What you say? Nothing. Right? Like
a woman can't never be no man, Kim.
Yeah,
I don't give a fuck.
He might win in the end, but I don't want to get them first two off on me because I'm a little bit older than I used to be. One of them might drop me.
I don't like men that get beat out here. What?
Sure, motherfucking ass if she hit him.
This is true, but you still got to be in the press conference looking like Mitch Blood Green, though. Kamar, talking about I was a victim of.
I ain't doing no press conferences till I hear.
You got to take pictures for the case, man. Them pictures gonna be in the media.
I'm healing first.
Let's put some sea moss on your shit.
I ain't taking that L. Everybody else.
Hold on. I don't mean to change the subject, but it's funny. I'm glad I thought about this. They showed pictures of they said a Russian security guard said Brittany Jenner, is that the one that died, whatever, but I think she a man too. They said that's a whole stud. That ain't no woman. They caught her with her shirt off. The dyke girl that got locked up in Russia.
They had a picture of her online with her shirt off.
She definitely be looking.
Yeah.
You
know what? I got something even funnier than that. Hold on, but let me get my chat room. Kerry Walker Jones said his mama might have been overbearing. He said Remy got him by telling him to shut the fuck up talking to her, and he said he fell in love with. Oh, it didn't finish. I just think in this case, I wouldn't have put my business there. If I'm going through a divorce, we don't got no business on Facebook talking about it. I feel like they're both celebrities, so it's like all publicity is good publicity, but it's kind of like showing you how our morals have declined in this society, right? Because for a long time, Papoose wouldn't even respond because his thing is, I'm not really a guy who puts my business on social media. But man, he got in his mode over the whole weekend because he was coming back like with back-to-back bumbles, and I'm like, yeah, bro, you off your square. He said this is Earl Henning. He said hitting them walls will make her feel good. Yeah, well, what if you don't hit them right one night? Are you gonna get beat? Like, are you gonna be looking like Tina running from the motel at night with your shoes in your hand? But here's what I saw funny. This is what, and I don't know if this might be a bad joke to do, but I'm gonna do it anyways. There's this thing I seen on Facebook where it was an old dude, and he said, my uncle told me one time. He said, I asked my uncle one time, why do they call them studs? And he said, because studs stand for it's still titties under that dress.
Oh my gosh.
I've been thinking about that all weekend. Like, is that really where it came from?
I can see that though. It fits very well. So like, I mean, because it is still
you know, except for Brittany Griner, like, because I seen a picture of her sitting by the pool, and I'm like, well, wait a minute, hold on, wait a minute, that was a man chest though. It wasn't just like a flat-chested woman. It's like a man's chest, and
it's
I'm
not
like,
even like a surgery chest. It is like a guy's natural chest. And
if you hear her voice, like she got mad at Caitlin Clark the other night and was like, trash ass white girl, and everybody's like, damn. Like,
it's definitely a natural guy voice. I don't know, man. She could be a dude acting like a woman that's gay. I don't know.
Who did she check? She checked one of them journalists who was talking about the baby her and her girl had. She said, well, you know, the baby got two. How you feel as being a mom? She said, I'm his pops. I said, damn, that's crazy. Don't call me mom. I'm his pops. Shit. Like, what? Kerry Walker Jones said she got hers cut off. Oh wow. Okay. So I don't know. That.
I know this girl that got her titties cut. I don't know her personally, but my guy sister go with a girl and she got her titties cut. I was like, damn, why your sister dating that young nigga? You know, I see them, they taking pictures by the dance. He's like, bro, that's a whole stud. She got her titties cut. I'm like, what? She got her titties cut? I said, man, you know.
She has the greatest surgeon. She has the greatest surgeon that ever lived because it didn't look surgical.
No.
When you get your titties removed, you dedicated to the game. When you get your titties removed,
it's just like gender reassignment. When transgender people get their parts removed, it's like, dog, you was dedicated to this shit, wasn't you? Like, what part of the game is that?
I've seen a couple men here in Milwaukee that went transgender, got some titties, and now they back men. They don't want to be gay no more, but like they still got the titties.
Oh, let me get him one of them. Oh no, you can't back. You can't back up now.
It's a big titty too. Too late.
No, let me tell a kid if I change my mind. Nah, bro.
One Donnie McCurtain guy, the gospel singer, he was taking it from the back for the team, wasn't he? I think once a man goes gay, you just
he didn't have any surgeries, but he said that he had prayed the gay out of himself. Like
But when you have sex with another man, you can't turn back that, man. You can't turn back that. You got to move out of town for that type of shit. You know what I'm saying?
Does somebody say I made a mistake, Dion? Like one of your guys say, I ain't gay. I just wanted to try it, and I made a mistake, man.
Who was that one dude in the videos? Like, no, you only gay when you do it, and then when you done, you ain't gay no more. You ain't see it, I ain't gay. And it's like, what?
Wow, that's crazy.
In the videos, he was talking about the rappers. He was like, that's how other men do it. You ain't down low. It's like you gay in the moment. Then I ain't gay no more. I'm done. No.
Tank, the R&B singer who they said he's from Milwaukee. He said, you know, it ain't nothing wrong with getting fellatio from another man. You know, that don't necessarily mean you gay. And I was kind of like,
he was trying it to see if he would like.
Well, he said more than once. Even if you did it, I'm like, well,
he
okay.
Sure the first time, he had to try it one more time.
I thought that was a pretty good indicator of gay. I don't know. I'm no expert.
Bro said I ain't no expert.
I'm not. I don't know what qualifies. What's the qualifying event? Like, okay, now you real gay now. Like, I don't, because I feel like you could always, unless you go through the surgery, you can always say, you know what, I had to change your heart. I was misguided. I didn't.
When a man busting your backside open, you can't say you're not gay no more.
You can. You wake up 2 years later and be like, I'm not doing that no more. Like
no.
I'm not doing that no more.
No, I don't want to do this no more. Like, you gotta say
no. You took another man's private thing and put it in your mouth.
Hey, Dion.
And you ain't got the backside.
You used to be a truck driver.
I
drive a garbage truck now.
But you used to drive trucks on the highway.
So you used to mess with them lot lizards.
So you still a highway truck driver?
I would say
I'm confused. You are confused.
I'm just saying what you just said. You know what I mean? You said if a man got his back broke out, bust out, or whatever, no Diddy. But he said, look, I don't like to do that shit. I don't do that shit no more. You said he's still gay because he did that before. If you used to be a dishwasher or if you used to be, you know what I mean, a garbage collector, and now you put out fires, you're a fireman. That don't mean you still a garbage collector, bro.
That's right.
I still think it's a little bit of difference, Kamar, of giving up the sit down. Giving up the sit down is a hell of a.
I'm just saying,
I'm gonna have to rock with Dion on this one. It's a little bit different if you know. I get what Dion's saying. I'm just saying nobody's ever beyond redemption, or nobody. You can.
That's what I just said.
Right, but you comparing being a garbage truck driver to somebody who got their sit down touched.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, so we talking about so the metaphor is that versus a gay man saying, I don't do that no more. I do women now.
Okay.
That's the metaphor in it all. Or what
So
I'm saying.
So I get what you're saying, but the act
can I'm just asking, like, I don't know. I ain't speaking for the gay men. I don't know. I'm just saying, can you say, look, I'm a fireman now. I ain't no
garbage truck driver. Right. I think
you know what I mean? So the gay man saying, I don't do no more. I do women now. Like, is he not gay anymore?
It depends on how serious he is about it, Kamar.
No,
like
Dion, give me an answer, nigga. You can give me an answer. You just don't want to answer.
I think no, because there's Andrew Caldwell who said, I don't like men's no more. Like there's this.
You can't say it like that, though. He can't say it like that, kid. You can't say it like that. Because nigga, you lying now.
And I don't like men's no more. I don't know, man. I don't know what's in his heart, man. I don't know what's in his heart, Kamar. I don't know.
But I'm just saying, man. You know, hey.
So you have
this is a question that popped up. I wanted to hear y'all answer too.
Okay, so here's my answer. On a personal level, if you my guy, right? You my partner, right? And you years ago you said, Kev, this is how I'm living my life, and I'm gay, right? And you came to me now and said, nah, man, I don't do that no more. In my mind, you're still gay.
Hell yeah. You gay. You bust another man's cheeks down.
Well, you might be sincere. Like, no, Kev, like for whatever reason.
Like that was 5 years ago.
Right. I decided not to do it, but I'm going to still say, because I
don't want to be your friend if you gay.
I feel like the possibility of you doing that again is greater than the possibility of you going cold turkey. And I don't even know if that's a good analogy of it, but I would have to agree with Dion. Like, I still think you're gay. Now, you might not be active no more. So, Kamar, here's my best example. I used to be a gangbanger, but I stopped gangbanging. Right?
Uh-huh.
I used to be a gangbanger, but I stopped gangbanging. So when you
being an ex-con.
Right. I used to be a thief, but I stopped stealing. I used to be a drug dealer, but I stopped selling drugs. Am I still deep down inside still a gangbanger or a drug dealer, even though I quit? We don't know. Some dudes say they ain't no gangbanger no more and still be throwing up the folks and throwing up whatever sign.
So really, it don't matter what nobody else think. It's about what's in you.
Man, there we go. It depends on the individual. That's why I said it depends on how serious the person is. Like, if you just trying to throw us off, Kamar, because we was ribbing you at the bar, and he was like, "Nah, man, I stopped doing that." But then we see you.
Right. Nah, nigga, you got
was on some bullshit, right?
I'm about to get ready to leave, you guys. Y'all know it's past my bedtime a little bit, but it's Thursday tomorrow.
Okay, hey, man.
No. But listen, I start me a new job. It's a part-time. I'm still with the city, so I got to get up to go to these cocksuckers. But hopefully I won't be with the city much longer because MPS, they, remember I told you, let me give you a little short story before I let y'all go. Remember I told you at the time that I was hired with the city, MPS wanted me to come take that boiler attendant trainee. They wanted me to come take the test. Well, I couldn't take a chance on taking the test when I was already hired for the city. So I opted out of it. But then I called the people and like, okay, we understand they rescheduled it. So I take it Monday. So hopefully I pass it so I can tell the city to kiss my ass. Because I really hate, and I'm not going to say it's the city. I think it's just solely where I'm at. Like, I wish I was over there where your guy was on Ruby. Because they're a little bit more organized and a little bit more functional. You know what I'm saying? But hopefully I could be able to. And then, you know, like I said, I don't want to, like we on this subject, I don't want to box myself with just being a truck driver. Being a boiler attendant trainee gives me a little bit more skill set. You know, I can move up to be an engineer maybe within a year, maybe two, hopefully sooner. But maybe as an entry-level engineer open, I get my pesticides, asbestos, all them little licenses and certificates I need. I can get bumped up to an engineer. But that me just driving a truck, and driving a garbage truck ain't no fucking skill. I ain't even been driving the truck, really. I've been laboring. Laboring is that I just help the driver. He drives. We both dump the garbage, but I don't drive the truck like run around. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and then like last week, I know I hate this job real bad Because when I hit the yard, when we pulled up on 14th and Walnut, my anxiety went up so hard. It's like my stomach be twisting. And, you know, I'm 47 years old, and I can't have something affecting my health. You know, they gonna do things the way they do it. Okay, cool. I ain't got no problem with that. You know what I'm saying? Y'all keep doing y'all. I have to do what's best for me. So like I said, Monday I'm going to take my BAT test. Hopefully I pass. Tomorrow is my first day of my little part-time job. Then I'll be working Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And I'll be driving trucks again, but I won't be driving semi-trucks. I'll be driving a box truck. You know, look, $27 an hour, you know what I'm saying? Along with the other little 27 I'm making. So, you know, it is what it is. You know? So, you know, I'm just trying to keep my boots on, trying to keep pulling myself up on my bootstraps. So I'm a black man in the white world. You know, I've been denied so much. Kevin be like, man, look at you own the house and y'all get these. I'm just talking shit on that one, though. But hopefully everything go right. And, you know, just pray for your boy, even though I don't do that pray stuff too much. He's like, man, he's not happy where he is. Hopefully he get another job where he can learn different skill sets. Because eventually, like I said all the time, I do want to move down south, buy me some land. I've been looking at houses just to get my mind focused back on buying land again. I've been looking at houses and stuff like that. So with that skill set, I can work at a school, I can work in a hospital, a university, anything. So that's where I'm at, though. You know, that's where I'm at. So I'm about to let you guys go. I love you niggas, man. It's always a pleasure. I'm gonna have to come to the Sherman Phoenix Bull and talk some shit with you and maybe be pull on something up there, pull up like, yeah, baby girl.
Get your ass put out.
Dion, don't come up here.
Right.
I know him, man. Dion, don't come up here with that bullshit.
Get your ass banned. Have a big ass picture of your ass at the door. Like, don't let this motherfucker.
But yeah, man, I'm about to get ready to hit this second, man, so I get up at 4:45, man. Y'all be cool, be safe out there. Yes, sir. Love, bro.
All right, now. This is Carrie Walker Jones. She said they do reconstruct your chest after. I'm saying, my sister, when I looked at the picture of her, I didn't see any evidence of surgical anything. Like I said, she had the best surgeon in the world. Like, it was crazy. I'm like, wait, what? She said, so if a young person is molested but lives a straight life when he's older, does that mean he should prefer men? He's a victim. You said he's molested. He didn't have anything. He's a victim. So I don't think that makes him gay. No, absolutely not. I'm talking about somebody who voluntarily says, no, this is the life that I want to lead. This is the lifestyle that I want to be involved in. I'm not talking about anybody that's been raped or assaulted or any of that. The bottom line is people have the right to do whatever it is that they want to do, right? But when it comes to how one is perceived, I think that was the point of our conversation, is how we look at you. Like, if you have lived the life of a grown, adult, consensual gay man, and then you decide to come around me and Kamar and say, what up, fellas, I'm back. I ain't gay no more. Do we still look at you as gay? I think most of us would. Most of us would say, nah, man, you still gay, man. Like, you know, I haven't had that experience because I don't got no homies who have, you know, come out and said that they were gay and then came back or whatever. So just kind of like a random conversation. Before I get out of here, I did want to point out, I wanted to talk about Donald Trump using the fake pictures in his campaign against South Africa, accusing them of genocide, white genocide. And he had the wrong pictures. He had some pictures from the Congo. But it's late. And if I start to talk about that, then I'll have to discuss this whole movement of bringing these abused, alleged South Africans to America, which I think is one of the most ass backwards things that we've seen in a long time. But you know, we can talk about that next Monday, because we missed Monday this week. This will be our only show of this whole week. So we won't be back until Monday, but share the show, go on and tell people about the show. If you enjoyed it, go and tell people if you didn't enjoy it. If we said something that pissed you off, tell people about that. If you have an opinion, participate in the show. Call 262-202-5131 when the show's on. Go in the chat room. Shout out to all the people in the chat room. We appreciate the support. I do realize that there are a lot of people who check out the shows later on, so shout out to you too. All I ask is that you share the show. We talked about the need to work with our youth more and be more patient with our young people and try to figure out something. I do believe that that is a conversation that is up front, and it is something that we need to handle. But I believe all these conversations are some things that we need to discuss. The problem comes when there's only discussion and there's no action behind it. So somebody said to me, like, you do a podcast, but there's really no action behind it. But in my professional life, I work with people, I help people. So it's not just me talking about it a lot of times. And if it's not something I'm doing now, it's something I've done in the past. My track record speaks for itself. Over 20 years of just working with my people, from education to workforce development to social services to nonprofit work to mentoring to coaching as a life coach and as a varsity high school football coach, a Pee Wee League football coach. Like my whole career has been all about helping people. So at the end of the day, whatever I talk about on the show, more often than not, there's some action behind it. And if there's any kind of limitations to where we are right now, I would say that there are centered around the fact that there's a lot of talk, but not a lot of action. Now, Kamar, you had went out, and I was telling the people that we weren't going to be back on till Monday. So do you have anything coming up this weekend you want to point out to the people?
No, I ain't doing nothing special. House of Vitality, we going to be right here. Just pull up. Come get your OG shirts. We there. They going, y'all. Y'all see the reels. Y'all see the pictures. All the OGs. You want to be official? Come get your shirt.
Okay. And I'm gonna hit your line, if not tomorrow, one day over the weekend, because I still want what I told you, my little package that I want to come get from you.
Right.
But so I'll be hitting you up. But like I was saying, man, the problem comes down because I get feedback on the show and people say, y'all, it's all talk. There's nothing being done. It's a circular conversation. And I'm like, well, I just feel like we just put issues out a lot of times because a lot of people aren't aware of the situations. My job mainly here is to inform. I think what I do for a living, what I've done over the past 20, 23, 24 years has been about community empowerment. So I can proudly say I'm not all talk. I feel like what Kamar does in terms of trying to help people find that balance with their health is more than just words. It's a lot of action involved in that. So I said all that to say, when your criticism of the community outweighs your contribution, we just determined that you are a coon. So shout out to you, man. Be the change you want to see. I will see y'all Monday.
Peace.